So we are live. I want to welcome Guyon.Half to the Mighty Mushroom Reseller Story Show. It's Friday night. Everybody's probably out like being, jovial and stuff, but we're sitting here on YouTube. I am going to bust out. I've got the chat open here if anybody jumps in. We can wait for some people to kind of pile in. In the meantime, while that's happening, dude, so what do you do, and why do you resell, and like what? It's a weird life, like being a doctor and then trying to have a reselling business, right? So
I'm getting terrible feed right now. I can't even really make out your line of questioning.
You can't even hear me?
It's all choppy.
It's choppy on my end?
What I'm receiving is choppy.
Interesting. Is it getting better?
It just started when we went live. I think I don't know, maybe it's been.
Yeah, so you'll get an initial chop when it goes live, but it should be okay. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Oh man, it's yeah.
You got to turn off any other streams. So turn off any music, turn off anything else that's happening. No other data.
Okay.
Don't have any other data flowing.
I see. Maybe it is on my end.
It probably is.
Okay.
You can't have, like, if somebody's watching movies at your house or something, I mean, it's not going to work. You need special data flows.
Oh, wait. Let me go check on that, actually, because I think the wife's streaming the Netflix at the moment.
No, that's fine. Let her stream Netflix. You're good. Sit down.
Hey, we can't stream Netflix and do this at the same time. Yeah.
Good job.
I'm right here. Sorry. We had to pause the Netflix for a second.
Kayla from Hazel Hearts Vintage is in the chat. Thanks for coming out, Hazel Hearts Vintage. So let's just get into the show. It looks like we got the stream issue worked out. So, Guy, you're a doctor, right?
On occasion, yes. Yeah, it's we could start with other issues at the moment, but yeah. Actually, what I wanted to start off with today was a conversation about. It seems like whatever we talk about, like, oh, hey, you should be on the lookout for this. You should be on the lookout for this. It seems like right after we talk about it, I find it.
Yeah, I'm bestowing upon you the nature of the universe, which is seek and ye shall find.
So
I've discovered that, and I'm just giving it to you because, I want to offer that to you.
So it's so bizarre. It's like I feel like we were talking about. I can't think of one offhand, but what I do have in my hand here.
Oh wow! I was actually talking to you 3 days ago about how there's some insanely high-end sealed tennis balls. I remember talking to you about that. So I encountered a random eBay auction, or a series of random eBay auctions, by typing in a weird keyword cascade, and I found like all these cans of tennis balls that were going for like 75, 85, 125, like ridiculous money. There was one that sold for $682. It was like sealed tennis balls from 1925.
Well, these look like more from the 70s, but
well,
anyway, it was a sealed can of tennis balls. I don't know if it carries that value, but anyway, I had to pick it up because I figured I was coming on today. So yeah, I'll take you all.
I like to start the show out kind of talking about a little bit about, you live in the New Orleans area, and right. I want to highlight who you are and have a context of reselling, for everybody out, because most of the audience are resellers. So why don't we just start there and say, sure. How long do you consider yourself a reseller?
I don't know. I think not very long, I would say. Mostly just kind of just kibitzing what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Several months, and sort of an interesting hobby. I think on one of your previous shows, you had said that you're mostly interested in turning over the inventory, which makes sense. I mean, you come across a lot of cool stuff, and you can't get a lot of the things on your store in particular, because I like to browse your store as well. You can't really find it anywhere. So you're actually going out and finding it in places and bringing it to market. But I think partly looking for cool stuff is sort of a hobby. I mean, everybody's going to have an interesting hobby.
Yeah.
I have a few, but this has sort of become one that is fun
Would you
doing.
say that this hobby drives you to like research, like your natural tendency is to research things anyway, so maybe this hobby drives you to this secondary research nerdness that you already have?
Yeah, I think that's really what drives it. We're both trivia buffs in a way.
Yeah,
I think we've had some intense trivia sessions in the past, but you come across a lot of things like, what is this? And that's,
exactly.
like, well, this was made, 30, 40, or even longer years ago. Like, what was this? What was the context of this? It's kind of interesting to come across these things as sort of time capsules, I guess, And
Yeah, I mean, let's say you found would you rather find an exceptionally rare thing that basically no one's ever seen but has no value, or would you rather find something that anybody could find but has a very, very significant value? As far as like being, because I'm on the professional side, and even though you're quite advanced for the amount of time that you've been doing this, you're still on the hobby side of things. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I would say the former, because even if it's completely worthless, you're like, oh, that's cool. But I mean, people go hiking and they stumble, across an interesting rock that has some significance to them, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that's a cool rock. It's not worth anything, but let's put it up on the mantle in the fireplace.
I've never really known you as a collector, though. So you're not really a collector per se. I know that you love art and you collect art, and you know me. I really never sell art, even though it's an investment for me.
Well, art's a bit of a hassle, and as far as it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of drew a blank there.
That's okay. I'm gonna go live on Instagram and let everybody know that we're broadcasting since we came out a little bit late. We do a little live broadcast. So yeah, I mean, it seems to me that one of your you're more drawn to the art side of things, and maybe that's like a long-term play kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's for me, I want my inventory to be a mixture of long-term plays and short-term plays. You notice that I'm not really into like bread and butter per se, but I'm starting to augment across. So, I'm trying to fill gaps in my inventory in order to have maybe some things that are considered bread and butter, and also have that $200, Hawaiian shirt as well, because maybe one of those is going to sell every couple of days.
Well, that is kind of nice too. I mean, everybody hears a story of someone stumbling upon a Picasso in a thrift store. So
yeah, this is really yeah, it's a true story. There was a what's the guy? I was telling you about the artist. He's the abstract artist, Spanish guy. What's his name? He did the really like the melting.
The Dali.
Dolly. So this guy George, this friend of mine George. I mean, we're not like friends, but we help each other out. He's a really awesome dude. He found a Dolly in the thrift shop. He found a Dolly in a Portland Goodwill like 2 months ago, less than 2 months.
That's so crazy. I mean, you hear you stumble upon a Picasso in a thrift store, and then it actually happens to someone that you know. I mean, so yeah. I mean, what's the likelihood of that? I'd say small, yeah, but apparently it happens frequent enough that you might run across someone.
Well, I mean, so there's not only Dolly though. There's everything else too.
Right. I mean, so you're not only looking for Picassos. You're looking for whatever.
I mean, there's a possibility that you can find a $15,000 Hermes purse. I mean, it is possible. It's never happened to me, but it's happened to somebody. I can guarantee. They walked into the estate sale, somebody rich. There was a pile of purses. They said they were too lazy to look up all the purses, so they put like $15 all purses or $40 all purses or whatever. The first person who went through there and knew, they popped on it. I don't know.
I would have pronounced it Hermes, and I would have never heard of it had you not told me about it.
Hermes. Music Roots. Hey, we're live on YouTube, guys. I'm going to stay live on Instagram just to get that foundation, but we are live on YouTube. You can see both of us. We have DJ Dr. Thrifty here. He's wearing a bearskin cap. And let's talk about fashion. Let's talk about what fashion we're wearing today on the Mighty Mushroom Reseller Story Show. Tell me about that shirt.
It's a, I think I got this at a Florida Goodwill when we were on vacation. It's, you can't really see. I'm not taking it off of the camera, but it's some silk shirt. It looks cool, so I got it.
Is there a brand on that thing?
What's that?
Is there a brand on that thing?
I don't recall.
Can you check? I mean, is it beyond you to check the brand of your shirt?
Let me check that real quick here.
He's like a doctor. He's like, I can't be bothered to check the brand on my shirt for posterity.
Silk Violet, made in China.
It is a brand called. Yeah.
It says made in China.
It says made in China, so it carries value to me.
Oh, yeah.
It's called Silk Violet, apparently, but it's comfortable.
If you're looking for the channel on YouTube, just look up Corey or look up Mighty Mushroom Nike, something like that. I'm gonna post just because that's the hangout. So Jacob, just come into the hangout so we can just see your face and just. I mean, we're boring anyway. So I am wearing a very sick. Let me just show you the loveliness of this. See these, like, I'll show them both. I'm on Instagram. We have these patriotic, they're not ceramic, but I have seen ceramic buttons on Jams World. Jams World is key. This is like 30th anniversary of Jams World. Most of you who've sold Jams World probably haven't seen this logo. This is pretty rare. First shirt within that region as well. Crushed Japanese rayon. If you ever see anything that's like crushed Japanese rayon, buy that shit because
I'll probably find it next time I go looking.
So moving on with fashion, tell us about that hat that because it's like I'm looking at the Revenant right now.
It feels sort of Revenant. It's a bit warm for the occasion, but you stole my thunder last time you wore one of these. I said, oh, when I come on the show, I want to wear this hat.
Thunder? Because you didn't come on the show. How can I steal your thunder if you're not on the show? This is my show. Wings. This is my show.
What I like about this hat is that you can tie it on top here.
So your hat's just generic. Man, is that in your inventory or is that just a hat?
No, it's just a hat.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, I know.
This is I think this is like Gap. Oh, this is Gap, yeah. Straight up Gap. It's not cold in here either. Like, I'm actually pretty toasty.
It's pretty warm in here as well, yeah.
So
we're actually having a hurricane bearing down on us within the next 24 hours.
So what's going on with that?
I don't know. It looks like it's going to not pick up much steam in terms of intensity. So we're actually having a hurricane bearing down on us. I got a little feedback here, but we'll sort that out. I don't know. It looks like
you got to get rid of that.
Pick up my steam.
You can't have a YouTube window open. We just stream from the Google Hangouts. If you're looking for the chat or something, you got to pop out. But I can show you how to do that later.
Okay, that's better. All right.
Anyway, I want to thank you for coming on the show. I'm sure you're going to be on the show quite a lot. You're going to be a frequent guest. We have a lot of stories. We have a lot of stories to tell. Like, we've been around the world together, basically, and basically almost died on at least 2 occasions, probably.
There's one that I recall.
Probably one that I don't recall too. So you have a generic shirt on, and then is this fur that you're wearing on your head, or what is that thing?
Yeah, it's probably bear pelt or something.
Is it an actual pelt? The one I was wearing before, it was rabbit pelt, but kind of feel bad for the rabbits.
It's a pelt of some kind. Yeah.
You okay? Got it? You there?
Yeah.
Cool. So, reselling stories. Yeah. Do you have any, do you have a story that?
Well, it seems like I only have beats. Bad beats. Okay.
Bad beats. Let's talk about. I'm gonna bring out a really interesting piece that is a total bad beat, and we can like share bad beat stories. So you start, and I'm gonna bring out something that, if it is a reproduction, but if it was real, like we'd be going to Vegas, baby. And I'm gonna crack this thing out. It's the jeweler. The jeweler could not tell that these rubies were fake. Okay, and one of the best gemologists in the world, who's also here in Portland, told me that they were the best fake rubies he'd ever seen. So I picked it up, looped them. They looked amazing. I didn't pay any money for it. You know, I didn't pay a lot of money for it. So it's really not that bad of a beat, but you know, I thought I had aces anyway. But yeah, so tell us your story. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab that piece while you start to tell your story.
Sure. Okay.
Really not that bad of a beat, but you know, I thought I had aces anyway. But
Oh,
yeah,
we got death pile on here.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab that piece while you start to tell your story.
Sure. Okay.
Really not that bad of a beat, but you know, I thought I had aces anyway. But yeah,
we got death pile on here.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab that piece while you start to tell your story.
Sure. Okay. All right. So
Really not that bad.
my lovely wife Farrah was kind enough to bring me this fan here, and as you know, it may be. It's usually hot here. My lovely wife-
Jacob from Portland Pickers is in the house. I'm grabbing a piece, Jacob, to show you guys. We're getting some feedback, so if you have a YouTube window open, please close it. Jacob, YouTube windows, close them. Only have the Google Hangouts window open, please. We're getting feedback, so if you have a window open, please close it. Jacob, YouTube windows.
That was me. That was all me, 100%. My bad.
How's it going, Death Pile?
Hey, dude. Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
That's not Death Piles.
That's not Death Piles?
No, that's Jacob from Portland Pickers.
I thought he was telling me he was Death Piles.
Oh man.
No, this is my cousin Guy LaFour. He's he's an up and coming picker in the realm.
Oh.
Well, it's funny you were talking about you were talking with a guy Death Piles, and I watched it briefly, and that's kind of what Farrah describes, my wife Farrah, as some of the piles that have developed, and it was interesting to talk to you about.
I've been talking to you about not having death piles forever because you have no reason to have death piles. You have doctor money, and like thrifting or reselling for you is fun money. So there's really no reason for you to have death piles at all because you should only be picking the best of the best of the best. That's really it.
We all make mistakes. As brokers, so
all men. What is it? Valor no Harris, Valor more
all men must die. What does dead men never die?
I know, but it's all men. What comes before that? All men fight, all men die, all men serve, all men serve, all men die. Right?
Speaking of dead, this is what I was about to show you before you walked off. Okay, so
let's talk. This is your bad beat story.
This is a bad beat. All right. So there's a local church thrift store that I support. I bring a lot of my stuff there that we go to donate, and I also go looking through as well too. And I found this fan. This fan was for sale $5. Plug it in, it works. It's an awesome fan. And
what's the brand on that fan?
It's called Cine, I guess. I don't know. It looks like
Chinny,
maybe, but it's got some inscription on the motor tag that is in a language that I don't understand, but it looks like made in India. And
maybe it's in Moonanite.
I don't know. I hope it's not radioactive. If that's what you what you get.
Everything is radioactive. The sun is bombarding us with like muons and like everything's radioactive. So just get over it.
Not to get off topic.
Well, this shirt protects me from those radiation beams. You know that, right?
It looks like it. Mine does too. This is crushed Japanese rayon. Okay?
This was my official solar eclipse shirt, 2017. But
crushed Japanese rayon.
I'm not come prepared for this show.
Story about the Cine fan.
All right, so picked up the fan, and of course, as you know, it's hot as Hades here. So I had the fan on my back patio along with two other fans, and we got them all running, and it feels good, circulating nice. But I had also listed it. It's like, okay, well, fan sells for 150. I'm like, okay, well, that's a good score, you know, in terms of turning it over, and it's an awesome fan.
What
Somebody's
did you
going
pick
to
it up
win
for?
it. $5.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, you don't find those every day, but it was a good buy. So my wife was a little bit upset about me selling the fan, which I understand because it cut down on the circulation on our back patio, which was a nice little thin area. And, you know, and then the other one got taken because they were doing some flooring at my sister-in-law's house and they needed to dry it out. So we're down to one fan. But anyway, so I packaged the fan. I took very good care to make sure it was bubble wrapped, 3 inches on all sides, which, you know, I learned after making packaging mistakes and having returns that, you know, stuff gets damaged a lot when you're shipping it if you don't ship it correctly.
Definitely.
So
Absolutely.
I get a, you know, sitting around minding my own business, and I get a little message and says, you have a return. So I'm like, okay, check it out. So the lady who bought this fan cut the cord as she was unwrapping it. And it's just clean, cut with a scissors. So, I mean,
How do you cut an electrical cord that's like this thick and rubber?
So she goes on to completely debase me, calling me a fraud, telling me that I sold her a fan with a severed cord. And I'm beside myself. I'm like, look, I didn't even want to sell this fan. I wanted to keep it on my back patio. I was furious. I was livid. All right.
Violently opening a package. Just
yeah, I mean, I'll find a picture for the next episode. This will be a follow-up photo.
Really get it open.
Cord. So, you know, I'm like, well, just get the cord fixed. You know, I mean, it's not that big a deal. Just get the cord fixed. But the lady wanted to return it, so I had to pay for the return shipping and the shipping there. So I ended up, you know, being out $50 for this fan that I got back, which I'm kind of happy to have back right now because we're going to put it back on our back patio. And I'm not putting it up for sale again. So lest someone cut the cord again. So that's
that doesn't sound like too much of a bad beat.
I know that's not a bad beat at all. Let's let Jacob, who has 7. Let's let Jacob, who has 7 years of selling experience, his eBay
bad
or
beat.
you know, because I have bad beats all the time because I do this so much. So tell us a story where you got.
I have a very early mistake that I made. Well, many of those. There was. Are you guys familiar with Dragonware? It's like Japanese lithoplane dishes. If you hold it up to light, you can see like a geisha.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Sexually, it's like a watermark
posed. Okay, we have some.
I actually found a set like 4 months ago, and they go for, you know, upwards to $600 for a set.
So the whole set. How many pieces are in a set? Also, why aren't you wearing a hat? Like, you're not invited to this show.
My hair is my hat. Look at this.
Oh,
your hair looks like this. It's a hat. It's a hat as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, keep going. So 600 for a set. And how many pieces are in a set?
I think there's 20 to 24 pieces. Let's see. There's like a main teapot and 2 smaller ones, and then 6 large plates, 6 small plates.
Oh, here we go.
Look at that.
Look at this.
That's
it's super ornate, you know, and it's hand painted.
Oh, the geisha's not on this one.
Yeah, the teapots don't have the geisha through them, but the cups do. If you hold it up to light, there's it's called lithoplane. Anyway,
never heard of that. So
like 6-7 years ago, I actually managed a vintage shop in Portland. I was telling Corey about it. Bond estate sales. It was off Halsey. So I sold a set of this on eBay for $400, and I did the shittiest packing job. I mean, I practically stacked the plates in with barely any packaging, and I was like, this will get there. This is fine.
It'll get there.
The person was like, "It's
the more pieces, the more valuable it is, right? Like
it was 1,000 pieces by the time it got to 1,000.
25 pieces, and you ended up with 1,000. So I mean, ROI, right?
It's a value add. but you know, they didn't see it like that. You know, they just didn't have the vision. That was pretty bad. Personal bad beats. You know, typically when I buy something, I'm getting it so cheap because I go on the half off days. It's hard to lose. Corey can tell you. Oh wait, no, he goes on the first day. Oh, I have to go on the first day.
He's on the list.
Yeah. He is exclusive. He's
got like exclusive
card into the houses.
Corey, I can level with you on that. There's a certain anxiety that you may get while waiting outside if you're not at the front of the list. You're the first one to miss.
I mean, I'm already spastic, so it's like I need things to happen in a certain way. Do you got? Oh, okay. So that was your bad beat that you sent some plates out and they got fucking broken. I mean, are you serious, both of you? Let's get real. Let's get like really, really real about bad beats. Like, you want to get like super real about bad beats?
Get super real. Get as
real. Super real. What if you? And I'm not saying this is somebody other than me. I'm just telling a bad beat story, an early eBay bad story. So let's say you send somebody 4 ounces of like, you know, 18. You sent somebody 4 ounces of 18 karat gold that you spent your last $400 on or something. They got it. They said that it wasn't real, and they sent you back sand, and they had 12,000 positive feedback and PayPal signed with them. What if I told you that story?
That's
not my story, because I wouldn't know anybody who'd be dumb enough to sell like bullion on eBay.
It's an expensive lesson. The question is, where's that sand now?
It's really, really expensive.
Some expensive silicon. Yeah.
God, what do you?
I have not been scammed like that.
Kayla's cringing. Kayla's cringing in the chat. Are you cringing because Guy is very uncomfortable? Are you cringing because I haven't shaved in several days? Are you cringing due to my hat?
Is there cringing happening?
You know, the link is right here, and you can just come in and uncringe. This is the uncringe link.
It's pretty cringe free over here.
I know. You come on my show, but my show only has 3 episodes, so I'm just. Anyway, so yeah, that's my bad beat. That actually happened about.
So you should change your business model. That's really the problem here. Is it?
I'll never sell. I mean, I sell like gold rings and stuff, but like I take pictures. I take a video of me like sealing it when I put anything that's like that into a bag, because that was the most terrible thing that ever happened.
It's unfortunate that you have to actually do that, but it seems like the business model is to get 10,000 feedback and then just start scamming people, which I'm not condoning.
Yeah, I mean, I went through this whole process with eBay, but you know, eBay can be very cavernous. If they don't know who you are, they don't care who you are sometimes. You have to really gain some momentum and some leverage with them because there are so many sellers. There's millions of sellers. How do you stand among sellers, you know?
Well, that's kind of how I felt when this woman cut the cord on the fan here. Is, you know, my 150 feedback from, you know, the last 10 years.
I mean, she just didn't want it anymore, and we had like a restocking fee, and she was like, I'm just going to cut the cord and leave negative feedback. So one of the main problems with the eBay platform, I think, is negative feedback extortion. So what will happen is this, and this is a scenario. So even though on my current account I have, you know, 500 feedback or whatever, I've done over 20,000 transactions on eBay.
Say that again?
I've done over 20,000 transactions on eBay.
And only 500 feedback?
No. On this account, if you look at my current like selling account, you'll see that it has 500 positive feedback, 100% feedback. But I've done over 20,000 sales on eBay.
Gotcha.
This is what people will do. This is eBay trolling is what I call it. I don't even know if it's in the undiscovered, but I know it exists because you always know it's going to happen, and it does. So what happens is you we all list from other people. We all steal completed listings, right? The method is to go through completed listings, find the highest one that's sold, snag that listing, change some keywords, make it your own, puts your own pictures, price it, and go, right? That's what we all do.
Yeah, it
so
cuts down a lot of time.
Let's say you don't change a modifier word. Like instead, let's say it was for something, but you said with something. But you showed pictures of what it was. What you'll find is somebody's going to order that item from you. Your description is going to be wrong. So really, if eBay looks at the listing, they'll notice that it's wrong. So that's item not as described, which used to be a defect, but is no longer. There are only two types of defects on eBay right now. One, you canceled an order because you didn't have it in stock. And why they do that is because they think you're doing the transaction outside of eBay. And two, the other defect that will drop you into like below standard or get you kicked off is so it's canceling an order or not resolving a return before they do. So you need to step in and figure out the return. If you don't, it's a defect against you, which really sucks because sometimes you can't solve it without them. So they put you over the fire a little bit. It's way better now, but it used to be way worse. Oh my God, I just lost my train of
thought. Yeah, I'm going through a return.
So return. It's a type of return fraud. So what they'll do is they'll order the item. That was a joke. I know exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah. Well, there it goes again.
Patent trolls.
So
it's like patent trolls.
They order the item with the obvious incorrect description based on the pictures. They get it knowing that it's wrong. What they'll do is they'll keep parts or return something different. And they'll take a picture of when they know that it's going to be different. And they know that if they return it or they ask for their money back, you'll give it to them. So this is a form of fraud that's going to continue to grow on eBay. You're going to see it more and more and more. So really pay attention to making sure descriptions match the pictures. Because if they don't exactly, you can just be defrauded. There's nothing you absolute. Even if you know somebody at eBay, you can't do anything about it because your actual title is what you actually have to deliver.
So you can't put a modifier like
you put the word Coogie and like if you say Johnny Rotten Coogie sweater and it's like a James Taylor brand sweater and somebody doesn't get a Coogie sweater, dude. I mean that could be a Vero. There's a lot of things like there's a lot of things that can happen to your account. You never want to put a title that doesn't actually match what it is. Don't keyword spam when it comes to other brands. Never do that. That can get you kicked off of eBay no matter whether you have an anchor account or not. I've seen sellers, huge sellers, even recently get suspended for multiple days for keyword spamming brands or descriptions that were not actually their products. So I got a Vero claim the other day. It was for some really common, this is just a tip to everybody who's listening. P90X, don't even post it on eBay. Rosetta Stone, if you're approved to sell it on Amazon, sell it on there. And like Beachbody and those type of brands that are associated, if they even see your product there, they'll just instantly do a Vero claim. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. And you just have to know through knowing. But you can, your account, if you don't, let's say you don't have a store, and you put up an actual sealed, authentic Rosetta Stone, like Spanish or something, and you get banned for 7 days, there's no way, they can't even turn it off. There's no way to turn it off. You just have to take the ban. But that's still that way today. So there's certain brands you have to learn to stay away from. They're just not worth, no $60, $70, or even $700 is worth my account. This account, I'm going to do, in the next 10 years, I feel like I'm going to do, $10 million on this account somehow, or these accounts. And so their value is like $5 million in future revenues, and $700 today is not. It's not. It's really not worth it. If you can resolve the situation with your customers, if somebody scams you, you can block them. But what's more important, like beating a scammer or keeping your eBay account?
Yeah, it really sets you up for volleys of fraud from various scammers.
You're not going to get volleys of fraud though, because scammers are lazy. So you have to remember that too, and they're entitled, and they're going to use the same accounts, and then later on, they're not going to be able to use that as accounts anymore. And there's certain areas, like if you're in certain countries, like you can't even order on eBay. So
because of the scamming.
Exactly. I don't think scamming is a huge problem. So I would say 1 in 1,000 transactions is fraudulent. 1 in 1,000. How do you maintain that? On Amazon, it's like 3%. Seriously, it's huge on Amazon. I can't even deal with it anymore. It's like even at 3%, that's so bad that if you had 3% defects on eBay, they'd kick you off forever. But I have 3 to 4% of my orders on Amazon. I mean, I was showing Jacob my ROIs and then showing him what my profit margins were after those ROIs. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Well, that way, it's because of fraud. How could it be any other way? I mean, Jacob hasn't physically seen my inventory, but Guy knows. Like, nobody who's watching knows him, but like, I try to sell the highest quality items I possibly can. I don't sell things that are broken or don't work or anything like that, but I've had over 400 returns defective on Amazon. 400.
Their return policy is so liberal.
Returns for being defective. And a lot of them, they don't even open the package. So what they'll do is they want an item, and they have the money, and they order it from 6 different websites, and the one that comes first, they keep. And they send everyone other one back that has free returns. That's what I think. I don't even know. I can't understand the mentality of the Amazon buyer because there's no. You have to commit to a purchase. They've built that thing through lack of commitment to the purchase, which is terrible for retail. Like, you want somebody to commit to the purchase,
right?
Otherwise, you're at risk. You're absolutely at risk for as long as whatever the return policy is. I had somebody try to. Speaking of bad beats. This didn't end up being a bad beat, but somebody bought a Margaritaville machine, and I think if you buy a Margaritaville machine, you should probably live in a hole somewhere or something. I don't know why anybody would ever.
This reminds me of Stan Marsh's Margaritaville.
Let's say you have a bar or something, you have an actual commercial bar, but a Margaritaville is stupid. Somebody ordered one from me for like $350 on Amazon in May, and then did a return in August saying that it didn't work. It's like, are you kidding me? And then they filed an A to Z claim. And so this is one unfair thing about Amazon that people don't even know. Even if it's false, let's say they're outside of, let's say you have 90 days to file it and they file it like 120 days. If you get 50 of those, or it's like 50, even if they're out, what they call out of policy, it's out of policy. Even if you get 50 that are out of policy, they'll ban you for life, even though you did nothing wrong.
Well, if you do enough business, you're going to collect those. It's just
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've only gotten one, and I mean, my volume on Amazon has waned mostly because I just don't think that they're cool, and I don't like people who aren't cool. So.
It's funny. I never really paid attention to these retail policies as a retail shopper in the past because I don't really shop retail. But I see why stores will put these safeguards in place because I mean, you can go to the store, buy a shirt, wear it to an event, and if you don't get any stains on it, you can return it, and keep the tags on it. I mean. I need this for a nice event. So
tonight I want to film some porn, so I'm going to go get a mini DVD player with some tapes. I'm going to keep the tapes, I'm going to film the porn, and then I'm going to return the camera. Porn on deck.
Maybe not even wiping the tapes.
Porn on deck.
You have a tape player?
I have dude, that was look
at this. I want to show you this.
What's that?
You were talking about shoes on one of your shows, and just I don't really pay much attention to shoes, but I did find these recently.
Fuck is it?
These are like unscathed, very nice. Very
What's
nice.
the brand on those, guy?
J&M, Johnson Murphy.
I've never heard of Johnson & Murphy. Like, what era are those shoes from?
They make nice shoes. They're in airports now. You buy, but I think they're pretty good shoe company. They've never been.
So that's a modern shoe made in the United States?
This is an old shoe that.
I'm asking you, what era is that shoe from?
I don't know, because nothing that they make now looks like this.
You don't get to know what era it is. You don't get to know.
Like I'm asking a bear for fish right now.
Anyway, I'm gonna research because I don't really look for shoes, but I stumbled upon these because you were talking about shoes recently. It's sort of the sealed tennis ball.
I started like poking around with shoes because of Tino the Soul Advisor and Rake and Profit. They did like this. They did these shoe collab books, and I bought their shoe collab books and started to read. And the reason I found those two pairs of like $800 new floor shine shoes is because like I read that book. Otherwise, I wouldn't have bought those shoes.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. There's no way. Even if they were $6, I wouldn't have bought them. I thought they would be junk. But yeah. I mean, I paid $45 for that book, and like maybe 4 months later, I ran into that and seriously sold. I mean, I can't take any credit for that at all. But I mean, I did find them, which makes me cool. But I had to be there for me to find them. But I would have thought they were garbage, probably. I mean, it was a beautiful. They're beautiful shoes, and by looking through that guide, I learned to understand what beautiful shoes really were, like what was high craftsmanship. Because I always wear Crocs. You want to see?
I think that's the thing is when you kind of develop an eye for craftsmanship, then you can kind of hunt it out in any category.
Yeah, you can once you get into what we do, you really can see. I mean, a lot of people. So I've got a haul right here that I was gonna because I went to that Germer sale where you were too lazy to get up or whatever.
I had packages, things to package.
You had things to package.
Yeah.
Were they like this? Were they things like this?
No.
What did they? Were they kind of like? Were they kind of like? A little bit like that. Did they say Gucci on them? Was there any Gucci in there?
No, but there was.
They were paid. Real Gucci is this very specialized type of. It's like this woven canvas stuff, and it's very, very high quality. You always have the Gucci tag on the leather Gucci tag. $5,
but I haven't sold it yet.
$5 today, friends.
What? $5? Is that? I'm gonna guess.
I'm just going to the sexy haul right now, and I'm gonna let you guys like talk about how.
Is that like a $70 purse?
This is an $185 purse because of the shape.
Would you take 70?
Yeah, dude. You want to buy it for 70? You have it tomorrow. So this is if you find vintage purses that are in this 50s, 60s region, and they're I just sold one the other day for like $70. This is from that sale. It appears to be. Guy, you think that's lizard or alligator? Because it looks like caiman to me. What do you think?
It's kind of hard to make out, but it looks kind of.
I think it's lizard is the.
It looks kind of lizardy.
But it's the belly. It's the belly section. You see.
Is it more
expect the belly to be a touch lighter, unless.
Touch lighter? What do you mean?
Like in terms of color, I mean, to be a little.
Well, it's tan.
Well, I don't really get to see it that well. It's kind of grainy, but yeah, I mean.
How's it taste?
It tastes like right.
The true test.
Well, you guys have probably seen this brand.
If you boil it, you can tell.
This brand before, A.T. and Agner.
Oh, the hat came off.
What's up?
So the hat came off.
Shut up, Muffin Head, and watch the video.
Whoa.
So this is,
Whoa.
I hate this hat. Oh, I'm putting on this hat.
Nice hat.
Hat magician.
Oh, which Hazelheart Vintage says she loves this purse. Which purse do you love, the Gucci or the Lizard? Because the Lizard bites. So 18 Agner.
If I were a purse wearer, I would take the Lizard.
I would take the Lizard too. If you find the old Etienne Agner stuff with the horseshoe logo and it's like bronze like this is like very, very high quality leather. It really resembles some of the Coach stuff out there. You can kind of see. Whoever was trying to, this was the estate sale of a vendor, and she had $55 on this. So, and I think on eBay it can go 30, 40. You can see really, it's a really beautiful. This is ox blood. I know my contrast is kind of bad.
Oh, looks good.
So
what's the price point on that?
I think that this is about 35 to 45 on eBay.
So where's your max that you would get into that at?
$5. Really? Honestly, I mean, it's like $5. I don't want to mess with it otherwise. It just doesn't. There's no. If the bone isn't meaty, I don't really want to chew. You know what I'm saying?
You're not much of a broth maker.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to make a broth. Broth maker, make me a broth. Kayla, I'll save that purse for you. You can have it for what I bought it for too. $5. It's totally Lizard. All right, you guys want me to continue with this haul? Jacob was interested in the haul. That's why I'm going to go through it.
Sure.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I got two of these. I don't know if that. This is like an antique coral. It's got this really intricate branching on it. It's very, very high quality. It's gemmy. It's very gemmy. So I got two of those. This is the first one. Put it on here.
I would love to see you wear it. Just
I'm going for it. I'm gonna wear both of them.
if you could model it, maybe do like a 360. You know, just really sport it.
I can't get it to hook up in the back because I don't know how to do that kind of thing.
You want a hand with that? Let me get that for you. Wow, didn't work.
Magnetic clasps. That's what you need.
I look like I just walked out of Studio 54. If somebody will start singing the Mario theme song, that would be great.
I feel inclined to share this while you're putting on that necklace.
Yeah. Oh, dude, hold on. Let me finish with this coral tip, and then you go, because this is the second one. This is called Angel Skin Coral. It's really hard to see the the white pieces. This is a very, very rare and high-end, generally on the Asian markets, but we'll go here. Do you see that it's got a very unique color to it? Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How it's got a blended pink color to it.
Pink sand.
Both of these strands were 45, which most people probably wouldn't buy them at 45, but sometimes a single piece of coral like this anymore. It's not on the market.
I mean, isn't it? It's illegal to harvest it.
Yeah, well, it's illegal to harvest certain types of coral in certain places, but it's not protected everywhere. It really depends on what the waters are. You know, if you're living in Vanuatu and you're a native person who lives there, you can go and harvest coral all you want. They use coral for all kinds of things, not just like decorative things like that. But this show's late. Yeah, it's 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. It's only 10 o'clock. What are you talking about? The show started at 9. 10K on the bay. Let's see. There's the link 10K on the bay. Join our party. Our party is an open party.
Do you want to hear about the coin?
Party. Open. I'm going to show 10K bay says, holy fuck, these shows are late. And actually, won't let me show it.
You get a late start.
It totally won't let me show it. There we go. Now it works. Okay. Let's Jacob, tell us about your coins there.
Yes.
Your coin
Okay,
bay.
so Do you? I mean, you check. Do you check your list on estatesalefinder.com or for sales to go to?
Yeah, I can't join. Do I check what?
Do you check estate sale finder for?
I'm not going to reveal where I find my estate sale.
Okay, so anyway, that's where I go. That's
Okay.
where I go. And sometimes I post like shops that are liquidating inventory and stuff.
Okay.
So I went to this shop in Southeast Portland. It had a lot of junk in it.
Every shop has a lot of junk in it.
And I wasn't even really motivated to go to it, but I just figured, what the hell, they're doing a half off thing, so I'll go. This coin was out in the dollar bin.
No, are you serious? When did this happen? When did this happen?
This was 2 months ago. And I could tell that it was a proof.
It looks old to me.
And I opened it up and it had reeded edges. So I was like, okay, this is for sure not just brass, you know. Or
We got Lonnie from Garage Flips in the chat. Even though Lonnie's, this is a no Lonnie's channel.
Oh,
no Lonnie's.
So I thought, just looking at the proof, I was like, this might be gold. It might really be gold. And
it looks like gold to me.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
50 cents is what I paid for it. And it's, so the peculiar thing is they made this coin in silver and gold.
Okay. What? Tell us about the coin itself. Like,
yeah,
what is,
this is women in the Bible, and it's Rebecca.
Okay.
She's carrying a pitcher of water.
Busting out the Empire of the Sun brooch.
And they're minted in Israel. I couldn't find them minted anywhere else. And they sell the silver version of this coin for $280 and the gold version for $800. And
Dollar bin fine, huh?
Wait. Is it a, because gold is like what, like 1,100 an ounce right now?
Yeah. So the interesting thing about this is I weighed it, and it doesn't mean.
Is it a half ounce coin?
It's like 0.78.
Interesting. Is it real?
Yes. So this is actually silver with a gold plate.
It's vermeil.
If you say so.
That's what vermeil is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Dick Vermeil?
Yeah.
So they minted like 20,000 of the silver, 10,000 of this kind, which is the silver with the gold plate, and then like 8,000 of just strictly gold. So paid 50 cents, and it's like a $300 to $400 coin. That was a good find.
That's pretty good. You should ship it to someone and then let them cut it in half with some shears. And then
oh God! Yeah, I want to return this defective coin.
This is going along with that sale. This is a vermeil piece. This is a 24 karat. This is a reproduction of a, I believe it's the Tirona people of Colombia. It's a reproduction. It says reproduction on the back. I believe it's vermeil. It's a sterling silver with 24 karat gold or 18 karat gold overlay. It's thick electroplate. It's definitely not. It's not magnetic, and it's not bronze. You can see by the color that it's certainly not bronze.
Right. That's I mean, that's the best test. Is if you put a magnet up to it and it sticks, you got junk.
Yeah. Well, you can see that. I mean, you can see that this is not. I mean, just by the tone of it, it has an odd tone, right? It's not bronze, and it's not base metal. You know.
I mean, you gave the magnet test.
I've already done all that.
Got you.
But I mean, it would be marked because it's a modern piece.
Is the weight? How does the weight of it?
It's so heavy. It's so heavy. So a lot of times what I'll do is this ring is 22 karat, so it's very, very dense. This is like this is an 18 gram ring. 18 grams of 22 karat gold.
Drop the ring on the counter. I want to hear it. Oh yeah.
Good.
Just one more time, please.
Actually, I see a comment about acid testing.
Rack.
Is that something that you're doing a lot?
The only problem with acid testing is you potentially damage your goods.
Yeah, you need to do one of those. You need one of those electron gun things, right? Those little laser guns that takes like one molecule off and measures it. They have those at like pawn shops now.
Oh yeah, just get an electron gun. That seems pretty, just affordable. Dollar Tree type thing.
Don't be stupid. You go to a pawn shop that has one and they can test it, you goofball.
Well,
yeah, you got to scratch it for acids, but
that's not a bad idea. I mean, you can shoot a lot of items in a very quick time.
You can instantly measure the alloy content using it. It just hits it with a laser and vaporizes like a couple of molecules or whatever, and then it measures the gas. So you put it against it.
Yeah, how much does that run you?
And they cost about $5,000 or $6,000. But what happened is they were putting out like bars of gold that were like actually tungsten, that were like heavily plated and stuff, because tungsten has a very similar density of gold. So they invented these devices to go around that. So that's one of them. But you want to continue with this haul, or do you guys want to?
Go ahead. Go with it.
Cool. I don't care. So this is what I believe to be native silver in matrix with
get up real close to see it.
I don't know how to make it work. I don't know how to make it work, but it's native silver in matrix with some kind of turquoise or something like that. It's in matrix, and it had a sticker for $100, but it was in a $1 box. It's really a beautiful stone. I don't know if you can see it. I mean, it's exceptional. It's exceptionally ground and polished. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Try to get the light on it so you can really see the colors. You can see the native silver in there. So I think that's kind of a rare mineral. There were some other minerals in the house. I don't know a lot about minerals, but I picked up this. I think this is about 50 to 60 carats of cinnabar. This is ruby red cinnabar. So it's a really rare form of it. This is how you can tell if it's real cinnabar is it's in a dolomite matrix. So this is certainly dolomite here, and even though it's a flawed piece, the color is pretty exceptional. I wish I had a little bit more light in here. I'm gonna have some more fill light later, but I did add a back.
Run per gram. That's cinnabar.
It varies from 0 to a lot.
0.
It varies from 0 to a lot. Yeah, this was $1, and I believe that this specimen probably carries a value of between $40 and $80.
That's pretty good. Did you see?
Yeah, because it's
at the sale.
I didn't see any aquamarines, but it might have gone before I got it. I was 39th into the house, so I had to wait close to an hour to get in, and I still got a lot of crazy stuff. So this is Picture Jasper. If you've ever heard of Picture Jasper, this one has it's almost like a lake.
Jasper right now. He's a friendly guy. Lives down the block.
Can you picture Jasper? He comes to your house and he gives you popsicles and he asks you if you're well. Picture him. So there's the grayer or bluer Jasper matrix is in the center, and it kind of looks like a lake. This is a carved mineral. It really looks like a desert oasis scene, don't you think?
Yeah,
that's pretty badass.
That was $1.
And those are priced on the back from probably the person who owned them?
These were all in a $1 bin, so I just started looking through this little $1 bin. But these are all everything I'm showing you now came from a single estate sale today. Lonnie, I don't know if you saw these coral pieces, but I really think they're worth. I think they're worth looking at. But I know these are all these. Oh, we got 10K on the bay in the house.
Oh,
is your name really long?
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. I'm glad you popped in.
Good show. Hopefully I can support you. YouTube is hard.
YouTube isn't really part of my business model or anything like that. So for me, it's just fun.
It is really
fun. If you don't mind me asking, what's the beer of the evening there?
Beer of the evening is Taiwan beer.
Taiwan beer. I've been to Hong Kong. I've not been to Taiwan.
I don't think I've tried that one.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, now you can. Now you can go.
A lot of the best Asian beers are just German beer ripped off.
Oh, have you started an Amazon merch account? Because that should be your first shirt.
No, I have a merch account. I need someone to help me with the design. I don't have time. I have fire
make your first
time. I need to do them.
The best Asian beers are actually German beers. I'm sure you have a quote wall that you
Let me see if I can get some more
merch out. So we're gonna keep going with this silly haul.
Go for it. I'm here to learn.
So this is jade. I'm 95% sure that this is jade, based on the color and the hardness of it. It's cold to the touch. Yeah, it's a pair of Eskimos. These were, some of the highest. I did a post on Instagram about jade, and jade is fast becoming one of the most valuable, what was previously considered a semi-precious stone, but now is considered a precious stone. So you'll find it in silver jewelry. You're not going to find a 1-carat diamond in a piece of silver jewelry, but you will find a piece of imperial green apple jade in that type of like silver jewelry from the 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. It's a pair of Eskimos, and the weight of these is about 4 grams. So we got about 4 ounces. Excuse me. We have about 4 ounces of apple green jade here. Jade really needs to be here in Portland. We have one of the best gemological companies in the world. One of the best teams of gemologists. They're in downtown Portland. For $25, they'll do an initial assay to tell you just whether it's real, and then for $100, they'll actually do a full appraisal for you for insurance purposes. So it's pretty awesome to have that resource so close. Perfumes. It sounds so dumb, but
let us know about the box perfume.
So I picked up basically $800 worth of boxed perfume. You can see the price tags on here. Just right now, look up Fleur de Interdit Givenchy on eBay. This is an $85 box of perfume. $3. Givenchy. It even has the Marshall's tag from the clearance from the making it. Let's keep going. Same. Look, $3. Versace's blonde. Stop me if this becomes boring. This is unused.
$100.
This is $110 to $185. It has an amazing smell. It's slightly cinnamony. Oh my god, I really like this. Whatever this is, Versace's blonde. I can see why people pay $100 for this. Oh god, that's so good.
It smells like old woman to me.
Are you back? You popped away there. So I'm gonna stop talking and let somebody else talk to me.
Guy,
I'm gonna show you one more piece.
Here,
no, you're done, Corey. You're done.
Realm. It's called Realm Women, and it says right here. This is great. It's from the 90s. It says contains human pheromones.
Oh.
Contains human pheromones. May have unpredicted effects. I'm going to pull this. Realm, the fragrance with human pheromones. Only Realm adds this extra dimension of human pleasure. Awaken your sixth sense.
What did I say? Sex. It has sex pheromones. pheromones, Corey. Be careful.
With great power comes great responsibility.
This is for women to attract dudes. I didn't think women. I thought women were like good at that or whatever. I'm so bad at it.
I think you necessarily needed a synthetic pheromone.
I have no idea what. I have no idea what this is worth, but for $3, I think it was a good buy.
Yeah, give it the college try.
It's probably out.
Do you want me to go through the brands of perfume? Do you want me to go through these other brands just so you guys can see what they are?
I wish it'd be nice to smell them. You know, that's the one thing you're missing about online retail is the pleasant woman at the counter spritzing you with 7 different fragrances so you can appreciate the varietals.
It puts the lotion on its skin or it gets the perfume.
Guy, where do you live?
I'm in the central time zone currently, so you know we're burning the oil here.
Oh, very nice. So how's picking down yonder?
Well, you know, Corey and I have talked a lot about this. You know, I don't think Portland has suffered a natural disaster in recent memory besides this forest fire. But I feel like, you know, a lot of people around here lost a lot over, you know, last decade. So, you know, a lot of the cool stuff you find up in Portland, because I've been there a few times. I don't know if you necessarily see a lot of that here.
I'm going to add to that. I think that, so, you know, lower lying neighborhoods or even higher lying neighborhoods, especially in like historic cities, like imagine how many times New Orleans has been flooded, the East Coast has been here, and natural disasters, hurricanes, windstorms, all of that stuff. Here really aren't hesitant to throw things. I'm up here on Mount Tabor, bro. We ain't got none of that. We ain't got none of that shit.
That's where you can put a "Come at me" sign in your front yard.
So what are the types of things that you look for?
Well, it varies on occasion, but you know, cool clothes and some artwork and stuff like that. I think I'm usually looking out for. Wait, let me hang on. I got.
What do you think? So picking here with me in Portland and being there in New Orleans, like trying to, even though you don't rely on it for your income, what do you think are the main differences between? I know you just talked about like catastrophes, but products that are on the market. Guy looks like he went away.
Yeah, we've lost him.
Oh no.
We lost Guy. Well, we'll come back in a second, I'm sure. 10K on the Bay is muted. Oh well, shit.
He's dormant.
This hat also came from that sale, by the way. It says Henka NV Arnhem Bakkerstraat 75 Telefoon. I think it's either Swedish or from the Netherlands.
Are you from Louisiana? Hi,
I am from Louisiana.
My family's from Louisiana. Like,
really? Where?
Like Charles.
Oh, I don't go around those types of places.
Why not?
Not even for the picking?
People wear makeup and scare you.
It's true.
So we don't go around those types of places.
It's common decency. In like,
did you see Kayla in the chat? She's like, "Wow, she looks so much better tonight."
Thanks.
The affliction is gone.
Oh God.
I only turn into a nun on Thursday.
I don't know what happened to Guy. Guy was the focus of the show with Jacob. I'm just kidding, Jacob. What we're talking about. So yeah, I asked him like that awesome question, like how is picking different? And I'll say I tried to make a living picking in Louisiana, and it was really, really difficult. I see Lonnie go out there. I know he has to be working hard to get to where he is, garage flips, because it's so much more scarce. The creation of wealth here in Portland is crazy. I mean, you're never gonna walk into an estate sale in Louisiana or Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and pick up 10 boxes of $100 perfume for $3. It's just never gonna happen, Lonnie. Dude, I tried. I really did, man. And I explored lots of avenues. If you want to be a picker, you got to get to a bigger city, man. And New Orleans isn't even big enough, I think. Houston might be, but look what just happened in Houston. Like, they just lost a ton. They just lost, in the high teens or upper 20s percentage of what would have gone into the retail market in the next few years from these floods. So I would get the hell away from there, because what's going to happen is that, there is always a flow, and when there's an ebb instead of a flow, and even a backpedaling because people are unwilling to sell stuff because there's nothing on the market. That's what happens after those types of disasters. But dude, much respect, Lonnie. I know it's really hard. I resorted to selling bikes. Like, I would just go on
Craigslist,
garage sales, and anywhere I could find. And bikes seemed to be the best thing I could flip in New Orleans. It was really hard to flip anything else on the internet. I did okay, but I was constantly struggling. Here, it's crazy. I mean, Jake's here with me, man. It is in absolute insanity. I can continue going to the sale. Look,
London.
Escada $3. Claiborne discontinued from the 90s. I don't know the value of this thing, but I know it's more than $50. A lot of these Liz Claiborne ones. This is made in the United States. Escada, Liz Claiborne, Versace.
10K. You ever sell perfume?
I have
Christine
expired perfume. I'm barely getting into it. I'm like a level.
Your Oscar de la Renta. Let's keep going.
I have an Oscar de la Renta sweater I picked up. I am like such a noob picker, so this is going to be very informative for me.
This is Lalique. Lalique was a glass brand. The irony of this perfume is that this piece, you would imagine that since Lalique is a high-end glass manufacturer, would be glass. Fucking plastic. Anyway, so Lalique put out their edition perfume by Lalique, unused.
Nice.
It keeps going. Have you heard of Guerlain? If you ever see Guerlain, especially like the parfum, the Estrade de Parfum. So this is like a $50 or $60.
Where do you get it?
Do you know this brand? I don't know. Have you heard of this brand?
No, that does.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Okay, I've never heard of it either.
Yeah, no.
It ended up at Marshall's for like $19.99 sometime in the 90s. Look at that.
Nice.
Look, there's a 90s tag on there.
Bong.
Amazing. Would you unwrap that?
What's up?
So
there's just more. What did we say?
So would you unwrap that?
No. Why would I do that?
Because it would be new, but with the Marshall's tag, doesn't that make it look like it's cheap?
The Marshall tags are on the outside, dude. Look, I just haven't peeled them off yet.
Okay, I got you.
Look.
Although it was on the inside of the wrapping. Wait, that would make sense.
You want the satisfaction of me peeling it off right now?
No, I got you. If it was on the inside of the wrapper, would you peel it off?
Yeah. No, if it was on the inside of the wrapper, that would suck. But it doesn't seem to be that way.
No.
Speaking of removing tags, I'm very fond of doing that.
Popping them tags.
Oh yeah.
So
peeling off the stickers of your purchases.
What?
Joyous. Removing the stickers.
Oh.
You have a Scotty peeler?
On this? You should never use a Scotty peeler on this. Ever. No metal.
I use hot breath.
I use my
fingernail.
I use hot breath and fingers, especially when I'm dealing with 1950s Heineken shoes. God, why didn't they line this in glass so you could drink out of it? You know, like tiki style. Why have a wooden shoe? I mean, I understand the Dutch connection, but make it so you can drink beer out of it.
What'd you give for
that? You see the shoe? Would you buy this shoe? It's Chris, right?
Yeah, it's Chris.
Okay. Would you buy this shoe?
When I buy it, I just found a Heineken T-shirt with a robot on it. Maybe I would wear those together. That doesn't look like my size, though.
Finally, you got something out of him. Jesus, it took forever. I didn't have to pay for it either.
I only tell jokes for money. No, I'm just.
Somebody asked me if I ran.
I wish I could do stand-up. Stand-up is. Have you tried it before?
Yes.
It's hard.
It's really, really hard. I resorted to like wheezing, and it actually worked. I got more laughs from the wheezing than the. Check out comps. If you start to sell these, what will happen is a distributor of these will come and ask you to sell all of them to you. It's happened to me multiple times. So a lot of these, I have a connection in Ohio, and they generally pay between $35 and $100 for these, and I get to ship them in lots.
You find that?
What's up?
Find that many?
I find about 10 a week.
It's because he's going on the first day.
No, I just find them at Goodwill's like a lot. Whenever I go into Goodwill's, they seem to be there, and I have no idea why. I just find a lot of them, and it seems like kismet for some reason. You know, guy was talking about before. Chris, have you ever had this experience where you start to research and look about something, and it starts to spark your interest, and you go out, and maybe you're not looking for it, but you have like kind of an energetic investment in it, and then all of a sudden it's sitting in front of you?
Isn't
like
that
your
reticular articulating system or whatever that is? Reticular something system in your brain. Like you're everywhere.
It's the law of attraction.
Yeah, it's a law of attraction too. But there's part of your brain that's programmed that way too.
Okay, tell me about that.
I don't know what it's called apparently, but it's some kind of system that's in your brain that, once you're programmed, like, if you decided that you wanted to marry a blonde, then you'd be like, I didn't even notice there was that many blondes in my area, but then your brain is like programmed to find what you're looking for.
No, it's totally true. It happens all the time.
I know. Are you talking about blondes? Like this type of blonde?
Yeah. That type of blonde.
I was thinking about blondes last night, and then I found this Versace.
So this color is nude for women, but what is it for men?
Wiener?
I was gonna put human colored.
Yeah, I like the human color vibe. It's really good. It's
maybe human, and then leather, and then
worm. It kind of looks like, if you pull an earthworm out of the ground, it kind of looks like that. No.
Where did you find those? Where did you find that nice shoe?
A shoe, dude. It looks like a Ferragamo.
It's a Ferragamo. Yeah, I just don't get how some shoes they're like the soles are perfect, but there's holes all over it. So I'm like, maybe he had a job where he just kicked things. Why does it look like that? It's so weird. Like there's chunks of the shoe missing.
Okay, so did you find the chunks of the shoe missing after you bought it or before?
Before. $9.
Okay. And you bought
it. How much? Just trying to repair them.
No, how much was the shoe?
$9.
Okay, I would buy just about anything that's at Ferragamo on it for $9, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. It can be repaired.
Yeah, I mean, there's some weird loafers that I maybe I wouldn't buy for any amount of money, but I don't know. Ferragamo did make some ugly, really, really ugly shoes. I mean, I've probably got 4 or 5 pairs in stock.
Corey, where do you live?
And Portland, Oregon.
You guys are both in Portland?
Yeah.
Your name's not as obvious. You should be Portland Mushroom.
I'm sorry?
You should be Portland Mushroom.
Portland Mushroom?
Yeah. Your name doesn't know where you are.
My last name is Mighty, so...
Oh, okay.
I'm the Mighty.
That's fair.
I don't know. Listen, I like the onomatopoeia. It's not... I mean, maybe when somebody sees Mighty Mushroom, they think I'm like some kind of hippie weirdo. I'm wearing a weird hat and like a Jam's World shirt. By the way...
I judged
Bolo.
you as soon as I heard.
You judged
me
correctly.
Do you even mushroom?
I'm sorry?
Do you even mushroom?
Even mushroom? I don't know.
I think he does. Last night's video is evidence of that. Oh God. And
He didn't even see it.
So what? Nobody has this time slot. It's slide right and take it over. This is the Reseller After Dark time slot. It is. You can have it. Nobody does it at this time. It's only West Coast people.
it's when the magic.
I just want to have fun. I'm really glad you came on. I'm really glad you came on and said hello. Really.
You know, okay, this is bizarre. I
don't have that type of. I mean, I don't have that type of competitive nature. Things come to me in my life in a way that's so abundant that I just believe in sharing in abundance. And maybe that's just because I have this like very. I've always had this perspective, and I mean, Jacob's really good. I mean, he's a great picker, but I didn't see anybody that found the value in that house that I did. Everybody walked in, gave up, because they saw a high price and left, you know? I mean, I saw that just happen over and over again. And while that was happening, I just saw the abundance and picked it, you know? So, and I want to bring that to YouTube too. It's like, I want to interview everybody. Like, I want Chris to come on my show and be candid, and just him and I talk for an hour and talk about strategies when he's alert and ready to go. You know, I'm not like, you know, no. I mean, this show was dedicated to another reseller, but he totally disappeared. So, you know, I'd be going to
see if he's still alive.
What's up?
You should make sure he's alive. Where'd he go?
He has a propensity to disappear, so that's why I knew the show would be like an hour.
Party crashing an all Portland picker show.
An all Portland picker show? Why?
Right.
Well, was it an all picker before I showed up?
No. Before you showed up, no. My cousin, he's a medical doctor in New Orleans. He's an emergency room doctor.
A medical doctor.
Really interesting and intelligent guy. We were telling some stories, and he was looking for a hobby that didn't cost him any money, so I started to show him some of the things that I do. And, you know, so for me, this enterprise is about gaining information. And you, like Chris, I'm sure every single day, and Jacob every single day, through your searches or through your interactions, you learn something, and that something can benefit what you do. Like, maybe somebody would have walked in this house and thought, well, old perfume isn't worth anything, it's rotten or something, you know, unless they had like gone through the motions of doing that before, right? So it's all about experience in that regard.
I feel like most pickers know that old stuff is good, though.
Well, why? I was 39th in line.
Oh, that's fair.
That's fair. I waited an hour to get into the house. I'm just saying, like, never overestimate the capacity of your competition, and don't even think that people who aren't your competition really are. I mean,
but that's fair. That's fair.
Like, collaboration, like, we have a saying here in Portland, like, community, not competition, and
I never heard that saying.
we definitely have that. Well, are you from Portland?
I was born and raised.
Yeah, well,
in the north.
We're born and raised on the west side.
Born and raised
in the north.
You guys aren't that far away. I could come visit. We could do a Portland meetup.
I think that should happen.
There's a lot of flowers up there.
I'm coming to. I'm on the Northern Cali meetup. I'm coming to see you guys.
Awesome. That should be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I wanted to see who you guys really were. This show is actually an expose on who you really are. The spying, prying eye.
I've been exposed. There was a guy that made a video called 10K on the Bay Exposed. And it was like, it was just my store. And I was like, that's fine. And then he deleted it.
Because, okay, so detractors are just lovers who haven't figured it out yet. I mean, if you guide your life by the people who are not.
I was like, why don't you leave it up? It's cool. He's like, no. So
they say no press. They say no press is bad press. I'm sitting in front of the entire internet right now with a Dutch policeman hat on and a crushed Japanese rayon shirt from the 80s.
You guys find some cool stuff. I didn't know about estate sales and auctions until like I feel like yesterday. Like I've known about it for one.
Okay. I really want to ask you a serious question because I've watched a lot of your I've watched a lot of your videos, and my inventory system that I used parts of what you were doing, and I kind of like I appreciated you showing what you were doing is really awesome. I want to thank you for that because it really did help me. So that's really, really sincere, and I'm sure everyone else you've helped appreciates that too. So I want to give you a sincere shout out of thanks because you did actually help me without even knowing it. So the inventory system that I use is based on yours, but it's like I always thought to myself, does this guy, I thought that you were affiliated with eBay in some fashion because one, they didn't sue you for like basically kind of using part of their logo a little bit, you know. I'm not saying like you're in Vero status anyway. And then the shoe thing, like where did you get those shoes? It seemed I'm just like totally real. Like it seemed like some kind of weird eBay promotion because all of a sudden it appeared in front of me.
I mean, I live in the Bay Area. There's stuff you find. Like I thrifted those shoes legit. The first time I went to the bins, I thrifted those shoes.
No, you're not.
The first time. I didn't know the bins existed. I went there. The women here are really aggressive. I couldn't get one thing. So the guy's like, you look a little sad. I'm like, is there a way I can get this stuff before it hits the floor? Because I can't compete. And he's like, yeah. So I bought a pallet the first day.
You what the first day?
I bought a shoe pallet the first day I went to the bins, and the Apple shoes were in it.
So you walked into the bins and you negotiated buying in bulk before you bought anything?
Yeah, that's the first thing I bought was a pallet of shoes.
You're sad.
With them not even knowing you, how did you negotiate that? You're telling me
he had money.
Before we go any further.
That did the deal.
What?
Money talks.
So I just asked, how do I do it before? He said, you can just buy a pallet. We sell by the pallet. So
what?
I should do that with electronics.
They do. That here it's like tiers. The lowest tier is clothing. The tier above that is shoes. The tier above that is electronics. The tier above that is books. You have to like work your way up the food chain. And then there's a guy the guy that I get my clothes from is the largest electronics buyer.
Okay. No, I like we kind of went on a tangent here because I'm saying based on the content that you were producing and where you are, it appears to me that you work for eBay. Is that true or not?
No, not officially. Not officially. But I think I can make that happen.
What?
When
Not
when I was coming up with 10K on the Bay, I was thinking I'm here. I'm pretty close to them. Like they should pay me and teach people how to eBay. I love eBay. I didn't know that the used thing was a thing. I thought it was new or collectible.
Where did you come from? Like, okay, so I've been a reseller since like 2001. Like, I've been selling this stuff for a long time. You pop up out of nowhere for me. You pop up out of nowhere, and you have like an interesting perspective. Like, I come from like I'm all about leveling up, and I'm seeing this dude who's like paralleling, and I'm like, this is really weird and convenient. What's going on? Do you understand what I'm saying, Chris?
Well, here's the thing. Like, you're an old soul because you have the same like saltiness as like the older resellers that I've met. Like it's been like this. This is what we do because you've been doing it for so long. But I feel
but I'm not like that. Ask Jacob. Like
I'm a fresh perspective. I don't know shit about used stuff. Everything is a blank slate for me.
Everything's a blank slate for me too, man. Like, do you think like I walk into a place and I know everything about everything? Once you start to think that, you start to rob yourself of future profits and future growth.
Scarcity mindset.
Dude, yeah, I've abandoned the scarcity mindset. That's why I'm wearing this hat. This hat is a protest against the scarcity mindset.
So I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. You're also
Well, I mean, Corey,
I'm
it's interesting to be like, where did you come from? Because I mean, you started.
I wanted to do a yeah. I want to do it. I want to do a show just with Chris sometime if he'll come on.
I want to talk
and
about
do a show.
The history is not very long. Pokemon Go exploded. Okay, here's the timeline.
Oh, okay.
Pokemon Go exploded. I was like, what the hell is
What were
this?
you doing before we need to preface this. Before Pokemon Go exploded.
Nothing happened before Pokemon Go. That was the beginning. Okay, there was nothing before that. That was the beginning of my reselling career.
That's like last summer or something, right?
Yeah, not even. That's like, yeah, I got into it. I was playing. That was the beginning of my reselling career.
Okay, I'll keep going. I'm sorry.
So all my Pokemon stuff that I collected as a kid was worth a lot of money, which I didn't know. So I sold my Pokemon Go accounts for $1,700, and that started my career. There's a lot of water Pokemon here because I live by the water. So I bought 5 iPod Touches. I used my phone as a hotspot, and I made 5 accounts at the same time. I was a Pokemon trainer for like 2 weeks. It was the best part. The best thing that's ever happened to me.
I'm so like, you're like an underpants gnome. You're like, step 1, collect underpants. Step 2.
So I was like, when I thought I could be a Pokemon trainer and that would be my career, and I was excited. But now there's bots and you can't do it.
You definitely have an Ash Ketchum vibe. I can.
I like it. Yeah, no, it's true. Kind of an Ash Ketchum vibe. He's
My favorite Pokemon, the Gucci Pokemon. It's also known as the Gucci-mon.
I kind of wish I was Ash. Being a Pokemon trainer would be a great career.
I was born in 1980.
On your account.
I'm out of the Pokemon realm. Like Jacob's probably in the Pokemon realm. You're probably
I collected Pokemon.
I was in the Voltron realm, and like even
Wait, how old are you? I'm pretty old.
You're pretty old. I'm 37.
Okay, I'm 84. I'm 84. So you're. I'm 84.
You were born in.
I've been drinking kombucha for 24 hours.
84 years old. No, I was born in 84.
What a laugh!
I was born in '89.
Okay.
It sounded like you were saying you were 84.
We got the full gamut. So.
Yeah, I mean, but you're still pre-Pokemon unless.
I'm not pretty.
Like your Magic card.
Pokemon. I'm not.
Did you see that? You saw that Damon Willick post that Damon Willick photo illustration that came from the bins. Damian Willick.
I didn't see that post.
Yeah, you replied to it. I thought 10K on the Bay replied to it. Do you have like a professional Instagram person who replies to everything?
Maybe I replied to it. I can't remember. It's I was like 100 internet years ago.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Well,
no,
as far as Jacob knows, there was no life before Pokemon. As far as he knows, because of his age.
I actually can't remember.
There was no time when Pokemon wasn't a thing.
Are you talking about Pokemon Go or
Pokemon?
Was there like a singularity, like an edge? There's a singularity, right? And then like like some kind of vortex. And once you get past that vortex, time is stretched so greatly that Pokemon always existed because it becomes infinite, right?
What kind of Pokemon stuff did you start selling?
Okay, I get it. You're right. Pokemon is a little bit before my time because the cards that I had were from my brother's collection. He's about 7 years younger than me.
Okay, that makes sense though.
Yeah, it does. So right there. But I mean, I played all the Pokemons on the Color Game Boy. That era, the 90s was awesome. That's where all the stuff is from. But that was the beginning of my reselling. So it hasn't been that long.
Damn. So are you hitting estate sales now? You're going to
doing estate sales. I'm doing auction zip and learning all this stuff, and it's way easier than thrifting. Thrifting was the gateway drug. It's where you start, and then after a few times, you're like, no, everything's so much more expensive.
I mean, you have like 21,000 subscribers on Instagram. I mean, that's like that's like big leagues or 30,000.
Well, I got on every single reseller show.
Yeah.
So that's like the way to look. Like right now, both of you are going to get a huge boost because of how this works. Like you grow by association. All ships rise with the tide. I have abundance mentality on lock, bro. I figured that.
You've come to the right place. I am of that mindset, and I've been living that way for a long time. So
yeah,
I welcome you into my existence, my friend. And
awesome. Well, hopefully growing because the true picking community, except for you guys, is usually pretty quiet. They don't share a lot. Like, they're like very quiet, introverted. And now with the internet, when I was doing those live listing parties, I can't believe how many random people show up to just list together. Because being a picker is a relatively lonely existence, from what I hear.
No, that's not true.
It's not? You're out there, you meet tons of people?
We have our first troll. We have our first troll on my channel.
We do?
You made it.
No, okay.
Apparently,
it's actually
10K on the Bay brings trolls.
Is there trolls?
I believe it.
10K brings all the trolls to the yard. My 10K is better than yours. My 10K brings all the trolls to the.
No, dude, picking can definitely get very
brings all
lonely.
the trolls to the boys.
You have to
just another
interaction and engage with the people running the sale and other people you come across. And for me, I didn't have a brand, and I didn't really see where you could go from just flipping stuff to actually having an impact without developing a brand.
Okay, that's fair.
And I mean, I like connecting with people. I always have. So it wasn't like I didn't want to reach out and share my stories and information and be a resource to other people.
Yeah.
But I guess there is kind of a tendency to just do your thing, and
you don't even have to have the scarcity mentality to be what value does sharing the secrets of your business bring? That's what those people would ask themselves. But I say that there's no secrets because the information is already there. If somebody's not going to use the information, whether you tell it to them or not, they're still not going to use the information.
Right. It's all about how you package the information. And
most of the information is free out there, and that's why
Absolutely.
That's why courses don't do very well. Like online courses only have like a 3% completion rate. People don't even do the course, let alone the action that the course recommends you do. Like that's a horrible.
People don't even get to the end of the course to start.
Yeah, they don't even do they can't even read through the 3-page PDF. It's basic. Buy low, sell high is most of this.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Most of it. And you have to have people skills because that's how you get a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I walk, only a certain percentage of my inventory comes from estate sales, and only a certain percentage comes from retail stores and other stores. But all those people know me by name, and I know them by name. And I filmed like a candid video of an estate sale this morning, and I put it on Instagram. It was pretty funny. It was hilarious because like everyone who worked in the sale came up and talked to me during that video. Maybe not many people watched it, but it was like, I went back and watched it and I was like, oh, that's really funny. I didn't even realize that happened. Everyone who worked there walked up, talked to me, gave me some tips, showed me what was going on, and it was great. Did you watch that video?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, okay. It was posted as a story. I'm still learning Instagram. I only have like 250 followers on Instagram.
Double overnight, hopefully.
I'm not looking for that. I
know you're not looking for that, but it is totally different because the impact you have grows, and that's interesting. Because when you post something,
totally is interesting.
Thousands of people see it. It's totally different because you're gonna up your level. Like you're not gonna put out bullshit. You're gonna try to be as useful and helpful as you can. Like I've learned a lot from you guys, and because I know so little about the topic. The live listing parties, there are people that are like how do I log in? They don't even know, like, how do I create an account? They're at that level.
Yeah. I mean,
You
there's
know,
people that are that totally that basic, and to be able to provide that guidance and assistance.
and then if they figure it out and they have 10 grand worth of junk in their house, you just changed that person's life. Not to be dramatic, but some people are also disabled, and they don't
Absolutely. Like $200 or $300 a month might change somebody's complete outlook on their existence. I mean, for me, it wouldn't, but maybe at one point in my life it would, you know, and you can make those changes. And the crazy part about eBay, specifically eBay, is that you can scale it to the moon. My sales limit on on eBay is $1 billion, and I can list 1 billion items.
Wow. You need to make Kayla an admin if you want to. Do you know how to do that?
No. How do I do that?
You can click the 3 dots next to their name and.
Yeah. Oh, 3 dots next to her name? I don't see 3 dots. Oh, now I do. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about what the
ad moderator,
you know, someone making minimum wage, what they're taking home monthly, how easy it is to make that on eBay.
It's easy for us, but like it takes a little bit of chops to do it.
Yeah,
I have a little bit of chops.
At least for me, and what I see with a lot of people who start, is the shipping. The shipping dynamic is very confusing and hard to figure out. Hard to get.
So for all new sellers, I recommend 5-day handling time in the beginning. For every new seller, if you have under 100 feedback, have 5-day handling time. Just the biggest headache sellers run into is packing their items. They don't have packing supplies ready. They're all ready to go. They're gonna list their items. They're gonna make $1 million. But they don't have a box to ship it in. Now, this is true.
Or even knowing just what to price for shipping. How to account for what is it actually going to cost to ship this, because they've never shipped.
No doubt.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how do I calculate shipping properly? Like, I don't even have a scale. So then I go to the FedEx or the post office, have them weigh it, pay retail, don't make any money, you know?
But again, like what you were saying, the information is out there. I mean, there's probably 1,000 guides.
If you call eBay, they'll guide you through the process of anything.
Yeah, no,
And
I mean,
if you're willing to wait, you can talk to somebody in the United States.
You know what's a little bizarre I wanted to share with you guys? I feel like we have job security because Amazon is sort of destroying all actual retail companies.
Absolutely.
So, like, everything.
Do you sell on Amazon, even though you partially work for eBay?
Yeah, I work for eBay, but I like Amazon better. But I want to finish this goal first.
Before you mess with Amazon?
I may still do Amazon, but I'm not going to go. I'm going to do one thing at a time. I'm not going to try to ride 2 horses because then I'll break my balls, you know. So I'm going to just start one at a time. I'll just dabble. I'll do Amazon as a hobby, but I'm mostly eBay right now.
I think eBay is just a much stronger and dynamic platform. I think, like, if you want to order envelopes, you go on Amazon, but if you want to order a Harley Davidson, you go on eBay. You know, I mean, that's just the difference. I mean, like, this shirt I'm wearing is going to sell for $80 on eBay.
Eventually, yeah.
Well, the thing is, on Amazon, you can't like freeform create your item listing. You know, it's rigid.
I'm getting 3% to 4% return fraud right now on Amazon.
That's not uncommon.
I'm getting 15% returns on identical products I'm selling on eBay where I get 2. So, what's up?
There's a guy in my mastermind that has 30% returns on Amazon.
What's up?
There's a guy in my mastermind group that has 30% returns on Amazon.
God.
And it's still worth it. It's still worth it because his stuff is that cheap. That it's
so I'm doing 1,000. My average ROI is 1,000%, and after fraudulent returns, other returns, shipping fees, and everything, I'm making 100 points, and I have 1,000% ROI on. I mean, Jacob sat there. I showed him my dashboard. He saw it. Anybody talking about FBA as like, you can make tons of money, you need to do really high volume, and you need to protect yourself against returns, and you need to be able to go through the Amazon return process. It's not They don't make it easy. They don't make it easy for the seller. They make it easy for the buyer, and they make it easy to commit fraud. Somebody could send you a pop can back in a toaster box, and it takes 45 days for you to get it back because the customer doesn't return it to Amazon. Doesn't return it to you. They return it to Amazon.
Yeah.
If you do FBA.
Fraud is a huge deterrent. I still want to sell it. I want to sell on both.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain products like this one. So I keep track of returns across all categories.
Okay.
This product has 0% returns. It's a great product to start with on Amazon because it returns. Okay, Texas Instruments calculators, 0% returns. Anything Texas Instruments if you're approved in that category. The problem is you're going to get on. If you're a new Amazon seller, and you're going to realize that you're restricted in Sony, Panasonic, RCA, Texas Instruments, Nike, Columbia, North Face, Polaroid, Monkey Christmas, whatever. I mean, you're going to be restricted in hundreds, if not thousands, of brands. If you were grandfathered in like me, you get the value of that. So I have a huge market advantage against a lot of other Amazon sellers. But I choose not to use. I only use their platform to like pay my rent and my telephone bill. I keep a specific amount of very unrisky inventory and try to manage that because having so many returns, you have to have a process and a place to store them and sort them and figure them out and all that kind of stuff. So
for me,
I don't know.
Whatever has the highest sale value, that's where I list it. So if it just sells for more on Amazon, that's where I'm going to list it.
I know, but so what? You're all merchant fulfilled on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
That's why we were looking at Inventory Lab, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say your return rate on your across all categories?
It's super low. I probably do. I only do like 10 transactions a month on Amazon, maybe.
Oh, so not many.
Yeah, 10 to 15 a month on Amazon. But my return rate is probably at 1% or less.
Jesus Christ. I really wish I could get that. I'm doing like between 400 and 500 transactions on Amazon. And just do the math. I get like 50 returns.
But the thing is, you probably wouldn't be doing that volume if it wasn't FBA. Because Amazon's catered things so heavily towards.
I don't like being merchant fulfilled because merchant fulfilled has some of the same return policies as FBA. Why not let them do the work?
I have not encountered as much scammers. Or
yeah.
The Amazon buyer is definitely a different creature. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely.
Different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Chris, you're more on the. I don't know. So like your niche is like clothing, and you're doing this thing to get to 10,000 listings. Is that Anchor Store capped yet or no?
No, my 10K store is at like 4,500 listings.
Wow, that's still impressive.
There's this other store that I share is I'm having trouble keeping it at 1,000 because I'm getting better at sourcing, so it's hard to keep it. I can't even get it to 1,000, but I want to get it to 1,500 because I feel like I want to help people quit their job. And if you have 1,500 items and you sell, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Why do you think you can't get to 1,000 on that?
Because there's I can't outpace the sales. Like I can't consistently list more than it sells at like 12.
What if you raise your prices?
I could raise the price, but a lot of the stuff I'm sourcing better. So the stuff that I'm buying, I can price. I don't have to wait as long. So
I'm saying, but if you're making a run to get a higher inventory, why don't you just raise your prices?
I guess I could. Because
you still want to make money. You want to sell the product.
This is the reason. Like as an example, I bought a wholesale lot of Apple keyboards, right? And they sell at $19.99 free shipping. That's what they sell for. I priced them at $19.98, and I sold most of them. 1 penny less than the market, and then I raised it to 20.01 to test it and haven't sold one, right?
Are you kidding me?
I could price it at 20.01 and build my inventory, but that's not the point. Like I want to sell them, so I'm going to price them at 1998 and just try to list more. I'm not going to sell slower. I'm going to try
I can
to
show you dozens and dozens of examples where I'm 20 to 50% above market, and I'm still
not on this one.
Products within.
If thousands of them sell at $19.99 free shipping, you sell it at $20, you will not consistently sell over. If you're doing unique items, of course you can price whatever you want. Every item is different. But like if you're selling widget A and there's thousands of listings, you can't be above the market. No. I get what you're saying. This is why I'm saying, to me, even though you're only 37, you have a little bit of an air of old salty reseller, even though you're only 37.
I don't know, because I do sell.
I'm a pretty good read. You still strike me as a little bit.
It's got a little salt around the edges.
Like
a margarita.
I think my instinct was better, understanding that maybe you were.
Salt around the rim.
I'm a pretty good read. You still strike me as a little bit.
It's got a little salt around the edges.
I think my instinct was better, understanding. Michael jumped into the live chat.
Michael,
what's up? Still strike me as a little bit.
It's got a little salt around the edges.
We're gonna jump into the live chat. Michael, you gotta close YouTube, man. Just open the Hangout.
Hold on. There.
Perfect. Where are you from, Michael?
Do what?
Where are you from?
I'm from PDX, Portland.
Oh, nice. Do we know each other?
Dude, we met at Goodwill.
I know. You're a little bit fuzzy. Your face is a little bit fuzzy.
I am?
We went to retail Goodwill, and I think we did like an impromptu Hawaiian shirt lesson, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome. How you doing, man?
I'm not bad. I just came to jump on to introduce myself to the other guys. Plus, I'm just basically here to learn. I've been learning a lot already. I got a lot of work to do. All this crap behind me, it is not even on yet.
Oh,
I know.
You've been sourcing like mad. 10K on the day.
And now I have to get the listing like mad. So from the next week, I'll be just straight listing.
Right.
What's your strategy? Do you have like a little listing like process or strategy?
I don't. Although I'm been watching, that's part of my problem too. I watch too many videos, and that keeps me from listing. But
yeah, the two guys like Chris from 10K on the Bay. You know, how do you manage?
Right, I watch him a lot. I watch Bonafide Hustler a lot. I watch.
Chris too, I think.
There's a couple of other people that I'm following. Hustler Hacks, Hustle Bee. I watch all these guys, man. So I'm just been sourcing from a lot of things just to try to find what I really want to do as far as growing this business. So I'm just trying to learn it all, and then I'll combine it. That's my sort of way of working this out. I'll combine it and pick out the best way that I want to do the business to grow my business.
Absolutely. It's your business. I mean, you're working on a platform that what's really important when you start out is to understand the rules of the platform. And I'll give you like one really, really good tip, especially about starting out on eBay. There's only 2 ways to get defects now that will cause your account to go into below standard status, which will stop you from being able to like have a store and grow your business. 1, if you cannot fulfill the order, if you cancel an order because you cannot fulfill it. Okay. Right. 2, if somebody files a return and you do not handle that return in the prescribed time, you can only have 0.5% of your transactions in those 2 categories. So if you have 100 transactions and one of them is that way, you're at 1%. So it's a really fine line. You really need to pay attention to that, and don't list anything on eBay that you cannot quickly get out the door and get to the customer in time. Okay. Also, opt in on guaranteed shipping. But so those are the two ways. Not
been
really
selling, Michael?
What's up?
Michael, how long have you been selling on eBay?
Started in May, and then they shut me down. Said, we don't know who you are. You're gonna have to prove to us who you are. So I had to send all my information in. They basically locked me out, so I was stuck there. I had some stuff because I was doing Amazon too at the time.
Yeah.
And so after they approved me to sell, I made my first sale in June. It's like June 4th. And
that was not long ago.
No, it just happened to be my first sale was an international sale. And I was like, what the
hell? I love it. Did you use the global shipping program, or did you
know about the global shipping program at the time? Okay. So, but I just made sure that I wasn't going to pay for the shipping to ship it overseas. So I was smart about that.
Did you print your label through eBay, or did you handwrite?
No, I print all my labels through eBay.
Yeah, that's the smart way to do it with international stuff.
Yeah, well, it's a smart way to do it all around. Like all of my shipping is purchased through Pitney Bowes. I don't want to deal with any nonsense that comes from not doing that.
Right, and now I do everything through the global shipping program.
Yeah,
it's much easier. I don't have to worry. I ship it to Kentucky and then let them handle the rest.
I do both, the global shipping, and I'll ship it myself. And before the global shipping program, like 1 in 10 international sales, either it wouldn't arrive or the person would be like, this isn't, like, it didn't get to me. And I'm like, you're lying.
Right.
But so when the global shipping program came around, I was stoked because, finally you didn't have to worry about it not getting there. Once it got to Kentucky, you're going to keep your money either way.
Right.
But I still offer non-global shipping, and I found that a lot of international people like that because it saves them a significant amount on shipping. So I don't know, you might find it's useful to use both.
The shipping's gonna be cheaper, and it's still gonna protect you on orders that are, outside of the United States. But returns with the global shipping program, they're all handled by Pitney Bowes. So that's what I use. I haven't had a ton of problems with international shipping, but
yeah,
I just use GSP.
On that first shipment, the guy, they held his package. It was going to Italy, so they held his package, and he didn't know about a customs charge.
Yep.
And, it was I didn't know anything about a custom charge either.
Right.
Like the only
not your responsibility.
Right.
At all.
The thing I know about is U.S. shipping.
Exactly. So, it's your responsibility to ship the order. It's his responsibility to pay any duties. Right. How would you be responsible for like variable costs like duties?
Right. It was my first sale, so I just kind of helped the guy out. I gave him a few dollars back. Say, here, this will help you pay for your customs fee or whatever it was.
I would do the same thing. Did you hear the kind of how we were talking about, like, my eBay account to me is worth like $5 to $6 million in the next 10 years, and $70 or $70 or $7 is like, you can't. Right. Don't let that type of thing. That's going to make you a successful seller. That mentality, that to get customer satisfaction, even when it like hurts a little bit.
Right. Well, I've been in the workforce for. I'm a little bit older than you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in the workforce for 25. Wait. Jeez. I started when you guys were probably just born. Maybe
I was born in 1980.
1986, I had my first job. I was back in high school. So I've been working since then. And I just happened to leave the workforce by involuntary means because of the company and I didn't get along. And I'm like, well, screw that. I'm just going to draw unemployment. And I had planned on doing this anyway. So I'm like, why not just start it? And so had a little change. Started watching a bunch of YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who did you model your initial go at it after?
Everybody. He's gonna say 10K on the bat. I hear it.
Well, I didn't know about 10K on the Bay yet, but I started watching. It wasn't Side Hustle Pros at the time, but I forget.
I know you Chaz.
Lifestyle Warriors. That was what it was.
Yeah, Lifestyle Warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I started watching him, and then I started watching Hustler Hacks, and going to Ross. He was doing the Ross finds and all of that stuff. So, is where I learned about Amazon, FBA, and eBay, and then I actually met Charles from Side Hustle Pros at Walmart, and I'm like, I just saw this guy scanning, and I'm like, hey, are you a reseller? And he turned around, and I looked at him like, you look familiar. And he's like, maybe you saw me on YouTube. And I was like, yeah, I knew you from somewhere. And so
you saw me on YouTube.
He gave me a bunch of tips. He actually gave me, I think I told you this, Corey, he actually gave me a TI-85 or TI-84. Wait, sorry. TI-83 gave me a phone, AT&T phone that was selling for cheap. Then he said, hey, I'm paying it forward. Just make sure you do it to somebody else. And I thought that was pretty cool of him.
Yeah.
And so I took the calculator so pretty quick because it was just about school time. Everybody's looking for calculators now. That phone took about two months to sell. But anyway.
So since June, so are you selling on Amazon and eBay now or no?
I'm
just eBay.
Selling on eBay mostly now. Like, okay. I just heard you talking about being gated in Amazon. I'm like gated in everything on Amazon.
We can have like a session, and I'll show you how to like kind of open some doors with them. Totally, we'll do that privately though.
Right.
But it is good information. But how many items do you have in inventory, and like what is your average item sale price?
I don't know what I have in inventory, to be honest, because I just started sourcing.
How many items do you have listed, and what is your?
Right now I have 150 items.
Okay.
My goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of next week.
By the end of next week.
So
okay. I'm just
that's what I'm going to be doing.
Very blunt and honest with you. With somebody with two contractors helping me maintaining my sell-through rate, I went from 150 to 1,000 items in 45 days, and then it'll be
you can do it.
You can do it.
Don't listen.
Hey,
don't listen.
No.
That's my goal. If I make it, great. If I don't, so be it.
No, that's not. I wasn't saying that you can't do it. And 10K, if that's what you heard, that's totally wrong. I did not. I was saying be prepared. Come up with a system first so that you don't get locked, because that's what stopped me from being able to get to it in a week.
Right.
So make sure you have the systems in place and you have the time slots available to be able to do the drafting, do the listing, and do all that stuff. And if you have to, acquire help first, do it first, because you're not going to be able to find it while you're in hustle mode trying to do that. So I'm just trying to help you out, but it's totally possible.
I get it.
He's just trying to bring you down. That's all.
I sense a lot of.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, you want to be realistic with your goals, but like you can, like I would rather you have the goal of trying to list just above what you're comfortable with. So whatever you've been normally doing, reach a little bit higher. You can adjust it every day. You do need help if you want to try to get to
maintain a few thousand listings is very difficult by yourself.
My thing is that I like to overshoot.
I don't mind that. Go for it.
It'll tell me. It gives me a, I don't know, almost like a, okay, I gotta hunker down and get it done.
You should address that.
If I can do, I think I mapped it out. If I can do 20 an hour,
Holy flying poop!
which
That is ambitious. That's very ambitious.
that's
Okay, so that's one listing every 3 minutes, which
That's
it's
that's
difficult with photo.
rocking.
so
That's rocking socks.
Yeah, if you're doing like sell like, and you're not doing super in depth comp referencing, you know, if you're not like, okay, what are the comps that sold last week, last month? What are people currently asking for this product? If you're just like, all right, this one sold for $10, I'm going to sell it for $10. View the photo for details, and then you're just taking 3 photos, 5 photos, and listing it.
Those are the things I need to know.
You can do that.
Absolutely. I think a really good baseline goal is to get to 10 listings per hour.
10 is a solid.
I think that if you haven't done 10 listings per hour, you need to develop systems to get to 10 per hour. So I have three listers who have worked for me now for 4 months, 5 months. The best one does 12 to 13, and she's rocking. You know what I'm saying? She's rocking. And I can probably do 16, 17, something like that. But I'm also not, you know, my items are more unique. Like if you're picking up like retail ARB, maybe it's you can list like on Amazon. Like if I'm scanning on Amazon, I can list 100 items an hour on Amazon. It's like
Amazon
like cake.
Yeah.
Million items in an hour in Amazon because I get to scan a barcode and put 1 million. And then take a break for 44 minutes. Elliot, what's up, man? How's Phoenix going? Well, let's pass the mic to Elliot. Say hi. Jacob, I don't know if you know Elliot or saw the show. He's my first guest on Reseller Stories by Mighty Mushroom.
Yeah, dude, how's it going? Hi, guys. My name's Elliot. I live in Phoenix, Arizona, and Corey and I met completely by accident. He thought I was somebody else on Instagram, and he sent me a message that said, "Hey," like his first message to me was, "Hey, somebody canceled for my YouTube show. Do you want to come on it?" And I had never spoken to him before, but even though he said that, I was like, "Yeah, I'll come on your show." And he's like, "Wait a minute, who are you?" And I was like, I'm Elliot." He's like, "Oh, I have the wrong person." I was like, "Well, let me know if you still need somebody for your show. I'll come on, hang out anyways." And
I sensed an odd hesitation of the energy web of existence.
But
you're not the dude, man.
Yeah, but now I am the dude because we did the show and it was awesome. So I had a lot of fun. But I just want to hop on. Shout out to Chris, 10K on the Bay. Love your videos, man. And
Thank you.
You're definitely one of the reasons I started, selling on eBay and the Rally Roots crew and all those guys. So thanks for all the useful knowledge that you share with the community.
You got it. It's fun.
But
Nice
yeah, oh, thanks, man. It's for sale in my store if you want it. Yeah, just chilling. What's that, Corey?
Include your brown sweat.
Yes, you get it. It's authentic Elliot forehead sweat, which is
Elliot, share with us today a victory or a defeat that had to do with reselling that happened to you. Did you have any like awesome victories or?
I've had a couple. I'll just share. I had a couple defeats, but they weren't anything crazy. But it's you know, when you start selling on eBay, like, you know, you put your first couple items up, you hear that cha-ching on your phone, you know, you get goosebumps. It's so great. And everything's going great. And then you get your first like angry message from a customer saying like, this doesn't fit, or I found a stain, or there's a hole in the fucking ass of these pants, you know, whatever. So I had a couple.
The family show. You're gonna make me have to edit this later.
Sorry, I'm originally from Massachusetts, so I can't stop swearing. It's part of.
No one on the show allowed to swear to me.
But yeah, I had a couple returns, but I mean, like you said, it's you know, customer service is everything, and it's all in how you handle the situation, whether it's good or bad. So, so I sent somebody a pair of shoes. They messaged me. They said, "Hey man, the shoes said 9.5, but they don't fit. Like, what are we gonna do?" And I just straight up was like, "I'm gonna refund your money. Go ahead and send them back." And what's that?
You're like, we're just gonna have to mass suicide. That's
yeah. We're gonna have to set the whole building on fire, and no one's leaving.
You didn't read on the internet that El Huaraches, there was one size half a smaller than the other ones.
I mean,
it was some weird, like, it's this shoe called like XTI. They're this. Oh, I got them right here. Hold on a second.
I mean, I have someone that complained on something after they already left positive feedback. They're just like, you know, I just feel like it could have been a better product.
I had a return that resulted in a defect. Somebody left me positive feedback on like this Nike fuel band thing. It was like in perfect condition. They got it, they left positive feedback, and 2 weeks later they tried to return it. I missed the return somehow, and I really pay attention to that. It like somehow got lost in the ether, and I had like a defect all of a sudden. I'm like,
yeah.
It cost me $1.
These bad boys. These are kind of cool. I saw them and I was like, these are pretty sexy. They're called XTI Territory, and I had never heard of the brand, and I really couldn't find a whole lot online. But I was like, oh, these are pretty sexy. Somebody will buy them. I think I put them up for like 25 or 30 bucks. A guy bought them, and apparently, I think their size, European size 41, which converts to like 9.5 US, but they're actually like 8.5 US. So whatever. Long story short, I just told him like, hey man, you know what? I'll refund on. You got your Gucci Mon?
You know what?
Yes.
This is your story. This is like how we run the show. We'll get interrupted sometimes, but it's okay.
No, it's okay. Listen, I'm here for the party. Anyways, long story short, I just refunded the guy's money, and he sent them back, and reunited, and it feels so good. Who wants some pink shoes?
Nice.
As for wins, I'm just looking forward to Half Price Saturday tomorrow at Goodwill. I'm gonna pillage that place. I got about $200 burning a hole in my pocket, so I'm gonna buy all the things.
When you go in for Half Price Day, are you looking for specific brands? Like there's 5 specific brands I look for on Half Price Day here on Sundays, because I feel like they just pass through the system.
I'm looking for. I've had really good luck with. I found a lot of North Face, and that stuff sells really quick.
You think North Face ends up on Half Price Days because they kind of know the brand and overprice it based on what the market will bear?
I think so. Like a lot of stuff does. I mean, I personally won't buy a lot just because they overprice it so much, and I'm not going to pay. You know, even if it's like $12, like I'm not paying $12. I'll wait till it's $6.
Exactly.
So
you go in.
I'm such a cheap ass. But I mean, but when you wait for half price and you buy the product for that price, then your X goes up almost exponentially. So
being a cheap ass is a good place to start.
Absolutely, you have to be. I mean, it's literally you're making all your money on the product when you buy it, and that's you know. It's the same with anything. If you're buying houses or flipping cars, you know, you make your money the second you plunk down, you know, your cash. Because you're either getting it for a good price or you're overpaying, and that's, you know.
Yeah, it depends on your value expectation on that kind of that kind of thing. But so you look for North Face, obviously Patagonia.
Yes, Patagonia. What the hell was I? North Face, Patagonia. I'm not into shoes yet. I really don't know a whole lot. I don't know enough about Nike. I see a lot of Nike basketball shoes on the shelves. I just don't know enough about it to make a educated purchase. So I'm really trying to spend more time learning about, the silhouettes and.
Yeah. So what's very easy to do is Nike's. So you'll see a number. Do you know about reading Nike's?
Yeah, the 6-digit number on the tongue, right? Or on the inside.
The 3-digit number. That's the color code.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you can easily scan through those things, and visual search is about to drop on eBay. So you're going to search on those visual search. Bling, bling, bling.
Yeah. So what I mean, I'm looking for obviously anything vintage. There's some good REI. I tend to find a lot of men's outerwear, coats, fleece jackets, wool jackets, things like that. So and now that obviously winter is here, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, so people are buying sweaters, sweatshirts, coats, hats, gloves, things like that. So that's kind of my focus right now. I have a couple pairs. What's that?
Oh, I said, so you mentioned vintage, like this move on vintage. Are there some indicators that you can share with the people watching that indicate that?
Is somebody playing Candy Crush? Jesus. Who's playing Candy Crush? Is it you? Is it Michael?
No Candy Crush. I actually started playing golf. I felt left out, so I decided to enjoy myself.
Oh, okay.
You can enjoy yourself.
Sounds like a casino over there.
Yeah, I know. It sounds like
I won 30,000 in coins, man.
Amarillo Swim just won the Willy Wonka jackpot.
Hey, but a good thing that's always cheap and cheap to pick up is remote control.
Yes.
And you can list those on Amazon. You can list them on eBay, and depending on if you got the right remote, it's $30-$40, and they're usually $1 or $2.
That's awesome.
Up and up and up. If you get Logitech, some of the Logitech program remotes, even used, will go 140s in the 140 range.
They're also very easy to use with the Amazon scanning tool.
Don't ever clean anything that is like that has that weird grippy plastic on it with alcohol. It will turn into slime. It turns into this sticky slime. Don't ever put alcohol on it. You want to use Goo Gone or just because they'll put the sticker right on there, and then somebody puts alcohol on it, and it turns it into this sticky.
You know what surprised me? That's selling for a lot of money on eBay. VCRs. I'm like,
right, yeah.
I priced a VCR just to see what it would sell for, and I found. I have it. I think I have it. This one. Can you see it?
Yeah, looks like a Magnavox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it write DVRs? Because if it writes DVDs, then it's way more.
E-recorder.
Yeah, so that's $240 easy.
Right. And I'm like, I picked this up at a thrift store for $7.50.
Absolutely.
That's where you want to.
You got to be really careful shipping those things, and you really have to test them. And my return rate on Amazon on those things is, I don't want to use the F word, but even though the profit margin is ridiculous, just drop them. With the serial number that you recorded will come back, and the face will just be broken off of it. Don't send that stuff into Amazon. Don't. It's just a headache.
Yeah, really. You really have to package the crap out of those.
So what do you box it? Something like that. Do you if you ship from home?
Freestyle it.
I actually order the boxes on eBay.
You said you order them on eBay?
On Amazon. I order the boxes on Amazon. Do you sell those types of products, Elliot?
I've been dabbling in it. I have a like a dual cassette deck that I have sitting on my kitchen table ready to list. And I was at a Goodwill today, and they had some electronics that I was looking at, like it was like a MIDI controller, and then another like a portable Tascam little sound studio thing. And like, I mean, the profit margin is there. I mean, I think the Tascam was going for like $40, or it'll sell for $40 tomorrow on half price day, and they're selling on eBay for about $250. The problem is, like, it's a very complicated piece of machinery. I mean, I've done music most of my life, but mostly just playing, not really messing on the recording side. So it would be a little bit of a gamble, but again, it's hard to, like, some of that stuff I wouldn't even know how to test it. You know, like, how do you test a MIDI recorder or a Korg?
That solid
MIDI
state stuff, generally, if it turns on, it works, and then if all the buttons click, you're okay.
Yeah.
What'll happen sometimes is you'll find, especially things that end up in salvage places like Goodwill, is what happened is those buttons have like a little plastic tab, and the button's been pushed so many times that the plastic tab is broken, and the button doesn't push down anymore.
Yeah.
You'll discover all kinds of weird stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it's only through experience, because it's different with a lot of different types of products. Like the old, look at this crease in my forehead from that hat.
It's permanent, man. It's never going away.
Well, I mean, I have many creases in my head.
Oh. All right, now we're driving Miss Daisy.
I was about to say, we're driving Miss 10K right now. We're driving Miss 10K today.
Do you guys do any of you guys mess with electronics? Do you guys buy like newer stuff, vintage stuff? How do you test it? Like, what's your approach to electronics?
I buy all eras, and with stuff that you can test it, and stuff that you can't.
Do you just YOLO it?
Try to test it. Use a multimeter. You can use a multimeter with things that put out a voltage, and be like, yeah, it puts out this voltage. Battery chargers. I sell tons of battery chargers and power adapters. Like, for a long time,
I do too. I sell tons of like high-end stuff from like Klipsch and Bose, and whenever I find those high-end chargers and estate sales, I always buy them because they're like $1, and you get
and they go for
$30 on them sometimes. Bose remote controls sometimes sell for more than the Bose systems.
That's hilarious, but
it's not an exaggeration either.
Yeah, with older electronics, I mean, yeah, if you can plug it in, turn it on, and the buttons function, then you're usually pretty good. And then, I definitely roll the dice sometimes with certain products where if it doesn't work, well, then you just eat the shipping cost. But 90% of the time, it'll work fine.
I mean, if it doesn't function for me, it goes into a donation lot, and I just write it off. I mean, and I write it off for its retail, they're close to its retail value.
Sick.
That's what you have to do, though, because I mean, you have the expectation of it having that value.
Yeah, so I mean, I dabble in all electronics. I mean, if you can sell it and make money, buy it.
Hey Corey, my shirt describes you as an old reseller. You're salty. You're a salty old reseller.
So pivoty.
Down in history.
I love you, buddy.
Michael, I want to give you a thought. There's a company called Zulily, and they list 9,000 items a day.
Oh my God.
You can just wrap your head around what's humanly possible. There's some dude that was like, I'm going to list 9,000 items a day all year. So that's the capacity versus that's inspiring to me, because there's people who list it may take you an hour to list your first item, right? And then you can look at the human potential of what like employees and robots and whatever happens. And for me, my electronics process is I sell electronics for fun, but as a business, it's very difficult because it's so time consuming. Every single one is different. Every single one's tested differently. There's a lot of fraud. And
you probably have that high rate of return too.
High rate of return. It's not easy to scale, but the margins are. I have a $500 return sometimes on electronics.
Yeah, but why would it be more difficult to scale? I mean, if you could find like some way to get into a
they're not all the same size. They're not all tested the same. They don't all ship the same. Shipping is never flat rate. So
true. I mean, so a lot of my electronics items do go out flat rate. So I do a lot of like vintage Sony cassette players, CD players, image enhancing devices, or camera-like devices, or camera assisting devices, and all of those easily go into the $6 flat rate padded envelope. If you if you do a wrap of bubble and put it in a flat rate, you're actually pretty good, and you can get it there in 2 to 3 days.
I think I tried both. I've purchased electronics lots and tried to pack them, and I'm just not experienced enough in pack. I can't pack it as fast. Like I can pack 100 clothing items in an hour or 2 hours. It would take me an entire day to list 100, to pack 100 or 200.
I agree. I agree that it would take anyone. I'm a very experienced. Obviously, I've shipped out thousands and thousands of electronics items. It still takes me. It would take me a 10-hour day to pack 100 items, probably.
Yeah, it's just.
I'm talking about that from a sample size across my entire inventory. You know, some medium items, some larger items.
Now that I have, my photographer pre-packs all the items, and then the locations on it, and the location prints on the label. So all I have to do is walk to the item and put the label on it. You can't do that with electronics, because if you were to pre-box electronics, you would need a warehouse, and then you would need the time to. I mean, I would like pre-packaging. I'm selling 2 Nintendo Wiis right now. I'm gonna pre-package them in the padded flat rate envelope and throw away the box. Really? And just tell people like, I have the box. If you want it, sure, but like, it's gonna save you on shipping. It's gonna give me a slight advantage over the thousands of Nintendo Wiis that are available. I get what you're saying. I could wait, but I'd rather just move them in 48 hours.
I'm also like, I think that you don't have an in-depth like view into my total business process. I'm not a waiter by nature. I'm a waiter on certain products. So I have high market velocity on some products.
Would you wait on
other products in order to maintain a sell rate of a specific amount of dollars? Like if I have a $500 item and I'm 250 down on my goal, and somebody offers me $240 for it, I'm probably going to take it because I want to make that daily goal. You know, so those kind of things come into account when I'm selling. But I'm not that grumpy guy who's like, this is worth $35. Not that dude.
That grumpy guy comes
that guy.
I'm totally not that.
Let me ask you guys something.
What's up?
I found this at a Goodwill. Never seen a
dude. Get rid of that, dude. Throw it away. It's a bomb. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
But I've never seen one with speakers on top of it.
What brand is
A
that?
Walkman, and I don't know if you can see that
TPX. Probably they were a low-end brand in the late '90s, early 2000s. I actually picked that item up. So that is a knockoff of a Panasonic. So if you want to do some comps, look up some of the Panasonics that do have the speakers in them. So Panasonic produced that line in the early 2000s and late 90s. They were the highest end of the highest end, and they're worth really, really good money. But the TPX was, you'll find other products in that TPX line that they're knockoffs of higher end brands like Sony and Panasonic.
TPX, I'll have to look that up. because I've never seen.
There's a lot. Because you're a newer electronic seller, you just haven't seen the volume, you know. But obviously, there's sometimes a lot less of the knockoff stuff than there is the original stuff, just because there's so much original stuff here in Portland. Like, I haven't found any Somies yet, but they exist. I've seen them for sale. SOMY. So you went to like Fifth Avenue down by Central Park, pick you up a Sony phone.
Gotta get some Furberry.
Chris, did you ever sell those the Apple shoes?
No, 3 unpaid.
I was curious about that too.
Sons of
3 unpaid bidders. I can't list them without them going fucking crazy. Excuse my language. I can't. I'm just gonna secretly list them.
But now the cat's out of the bag, so now what do you have, like trolls bidding or something?
I can't do it because media, like every time I post them, media bids it up.
But why?
So they can monetize the views.
You're that big leagues. You're like the Richard Gere of eBay or something.
No, it's just this because you make money off of ad revenue. Like the last 3 times I posted it, had 3,000 watchers. Like that's artificial.
Yeah. Exactly. Like I've never had 3,000 watchers across all of my items ever.
I know. So like that's why I'm trying to maybe go to Heritage Auctions. I talked to them already. We go to Sotheby's. I just have a legit auction house do it. I mean, that's going to be the way I have to sell them. I can't do it on. My stores are being watched by people. Not my big store, but the other 2 stores that are public. People follow. I guess I could put. And if I post it on my big store, people will know what my big store is, and I don't want to share that. So I'll just wait till. Yeah, right now I'm using it to generate money for eBay Partner Network. So
that is.
Yeah. It just basically, if somebody clicks to that pair of shoes and they buy something within 24 hours, eBay pays me a commission for driving the traffic to the site.
So you do work with eBay.
Yeah.
No.
When I was there, explaining, like, I go to the eBay meetup in the Bay Area meets at eBay.
Yeah.
So like, when I was explaining this, people were like, "Who pays you?" I'm like, "eBay pays for the traffic." And they're like, "So you work for eBay?" I'm like, "I don't work for eBay. They pay anyone. You can set up this shit, and it will pay you." It's the same as the Amazon affiliate program. So like, the amazing thing is, right now, I could apply to be an Amazon influencer and get it, but eBay doesn't have one. It doesn't have a program like that. They don't have an eBay influencer.
They really should.
They should, but they seem to do everything 2 things slower than Amazon.
Yeah.
Their shipping.
Yeah. Well, they have like.
I can't. I'm so frustrated with, like, as a shopper, I have to click a chart to see when it gets to me versus everything within 2 days is so easy, right? About 2 days, maybe a couple days longer is what Prime is. eBay is like sometimes and sometimes not. Nothing is the same. It's more confusing.
You have to remember that it is a hodgepodge of systems and metrics from another era, like the original eBay. I mean, they were the original e-commerce leader, and they have all these nested systems that are fucking them up right now. They need to clean the cobwebs out, and they're trying.
You saw they updated the algorithm today for search. So I used to be able to game the system a little bit and overcharge for shipping a little bit because on Best Match, the shipping didn't show before. But as of today, it does. So now there's no reason to overcharge for shipping because it's not hidden anymore.
Yeah.
So that's as of today. And they didn't tell anybody. I didn't get a memo. I was just looking, and I'm like, holy shit, they changed it. So
it came to your Chris at I don't actually work at eBay.com email address.
Exactly. Yes, it came through.
Yeah, it came to the other one.
Chris, I'm not affiliated with eBay other than some sort of odd consultant.
I was a little worried that because I do want eBay to pay me, and I was worried that they weren't going to pay me because I don't like white background and I don't like free shipping. That's what eBay wants to do. So I'm like, if I do get a job with them, I'm going to be like, no, except for those two things. I'm going to charge for shipping. I'm never going to have a white background because I just don't want to.
Why
But that's what they want. They want to push everyone that direction. I don't know if I could actually work for them and not promote that. Because they want the eBay catalog to rival the Amazon catalog. As soon as you put your picture on Amazon, Amazon owns the picture, you know? So.
Okay, so, but eBay has a much greater catalog than Amazon already. eBay has over 1 billion listings.
It's not the photos.
What's up?
Just not the photos.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like if I was going to work for them, they'd be like, "We need to push these white photos." And I don't like white photos because I think it makes it look not cool.
So if today you got a job at eBay, what would your job be?
It would be in eBay education. Show people how to eBay.
I think that would be a great job that you already have.
But I'm not getting paid from them. Yeah, I know. I don't have that job. If I had that job, I would be teaching people how to do eBay the way they want to do eBay.
Yeah.
Not my way of doing it.
I mean, obviously, you've taught a lot of people how to do some of the things that you're still learning how to do, but through that, you've gained a lot of insight on how to do it better.
Most people know that my end game is, by doing this, I'm going to be really good at eBay. I'm not going to need to work for eBay.
I feel like the cart is before the horse here, a little bit. Like
everyone says that, but like I feel like I have lived through 100 years of reselling because I get 4,500 to 5,000 emails a month of ideas. Hey, dude, you should sell this. You should try this. You should sell medical supplies. You should sell old electronics. You should sell this. This is what I've done over the last 20 years. And the people who are watching me are waiting for me to fail. Right? There's a lot of the older crew, people with gigantic stores. There's a guy that has 245,000 listings that just trolls me. He's just like, how can you, like, what are you even doing? Give up, you know? So,
Chris, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is there any aspect of your, like, part of your like eBay journey, something that you found that you overthought that was much simpler solution than you expected? Or
yes, there's a couple of things. One is the quality of the listing doesn't matter as much as the quality of the item. People are way overthinking that. If you have, there's a store that I follow. Every single picture is on his bed, right? He doesn't even make his bed. Okay, it's on an unmade bed with the light of the room. Okay, he has 20,000 a month, which is very respectable. Every single item is crooked. It's wrinkled. It's like not the items that you would want to sell. Like a lot of it is clothing, but it's every single one of them is a good brand that's in demand, and he has like 70% sell-through rate every month, which is unheard of for clothing.
Whoa.
And no horrible presentation, charges for shipping, like all the things that you're not supposed to do, and crushes it. So like people are way overthinking. Like if you can't make Banana Republic look good enough that people want to buy it regularly.
Yeah,
that's
a great point, because I think like I think I love watching YouTube to get knowledge and stuff, but there's a certain point where I think you're just watching these videos almost as like a you're almost just living vicariously through somebody else. You're like, oh, they're buying stuff and they're listing and they're selling, and it makes me feel good and makes me feel like I'm doing it too.
That's why haul videos are the most popular, and I don't do haul videos because it doesn't matter. Like I can't go out and buy a Steve Jobs toy, right? It's not that easy unless I'm like searching options and share. And now I'm on the lookout for it. Right now I'm on the lookout for it.
Oh, you
like,
saw that it got taken down? Oh.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. They took it down.
I didn't know that.
What?
What happened?
Because
What the hell is that?
jobs.
That's awesome.
Here, wait, let's take off the plastic so you can really appreciate it.
But he's hermetically sealed. Oh my God.
Look at him, he's so comfy.
The 5 o'clock shadow is immaculate.
Yeah, I know. Silence of the Steve.
So they took it. So Kilpatrick and something, is the attorney at law that protects.
Oh, the estate.
Yeah, the estate of
wow.
Jobs, intellectual property. So they
Is that like a one-off? Is like where were those produced for Apple employees? What's the history?
These were this company Legend Toys illegally produced these and sold them out before this.
I remember that. I remember seeing a little snippet about that.
And they initially sold for $200, and they sold out like immediately.
Yeah, they were really expensive.
There's not a lot of them out there, and you can't sell them. And eBay stopped me.
Did you have it? Did you have it a fixed price or at auction?
I had it buy it now at like $880, and the only other person selling one was at $1,200. So
yeah,
I had two offers come in, one at $200 and one at like $250. You know, and I was like, no, you can't get it at the price that you could get it when it came out. No, that's not how it works.
No.
It takes a lot of money to maintain this muffin top. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay up.
I know. Even though I paid $20 for it, I was not prepared to let it go at $200.
No, you just like I wouldn't accept less than $2,500 for the Apple shoes because there's none.
Exactly.
It doesn't have a Google image.
Yeah, that's insane.
Chris,
I don't need the crack money, but like the so okay. Well, the other thing was, the first thing is quality matters more than anything.
The quality of the product itself, not
quality of the product itself.
Yeah, that's a great point.
The second thing that I found out that I'm totally overthinking is speed. The people that that list faster, ship faster, source faster, they have more. They have a big advantage, and that usually comes from knowing a guy. So like what I mean by that is you have a friend that is a wholesaler, or you have a friend that works at the post office and teaches you how to do it, or you have a buddy that does your first FBA shipment with you. That's such a hack. If you know someone that helps you either with sourcing or shipping or listing, it increases your speed, which gives you more time to be good at eBay. And I don't know a single eBayer that kills it. That's not like, I don't want to say lucky, but like it's always like, oh yeah, my friend is one of the largest wholesalers in the world. It's like, oh, you know, like, well, I don't like to sell things that are less than $100 profit because my friend has items that are $500 profit. Like those are the people that really do something, or the people who live, like they can walk to the post office, and so they save that time compounded over whatever. Like when I was first doing eBay, I didn't get anything out of my garage. I was doing way better. I mean, I was listing way faster than now that I take it into my house, list it, bring it back to the garage, even that simple motion. But I have thousands of items now.
Right.
That's a huge waste of time. So
you feel like, though, like along with that process that you're talking about, that added process, like as you gain prosperity in the number of listings that you have, that like what does your motivation kind of shift?
I just want to get to the number because this is why. For 3 cents, you can get your item on the eBay. That's really cheap. That's like
you max out the 10,000.
Yeah, you max out the anchor store. And I was just thinking, eBay has millions of customers. Fuck Shopify. For 3 cents, you can get your thing on the eBay. That's amazing. You don't have to drive any traffic.
Yeah.
So I was just curious to get there. Like, if I get there or not, even if I fail, I'm already at 4. So like,
I just don't know where you like conceptualize going from like being a Pokemon dude to having 10,000 listings on eBay for like the average person, especially like most of the people listening. Like that's like astronomical. I mean, it's not a logical leap you know, for most people. So it's. I mean, obviously your following is very stupendous, just as your journey is.
I don't want to be
not-
logical. Yeah.
Okay, that's
so
fine.
here's
You
how I live my life.
seem very logical. That is the crazy.
No, I'll tell you this. Okay, I'll tell you where logic meets insanity. You ready? You ready for this? I just do what makes for the better story. I don't want to have a 1,000-item store. That's boring. That's not a very good story. No one cares about that.
Obviously,
I want to smoke a cigar with somebody and have an interesting conversation. And be like, dude, you should come to my place. I've got 10,000 random pieces of treasure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, come to my
I don't
place. Like you could
Because
come into my.
plus also, being a reseller is interesting. I noticed right away, no one takes it seriously. They're like, no, that's not a thing. That's not a job. That's not a career, right? But if you're an entrepreneur that makes a lot of money, all of a sudden you're like rock star status.
Absolutely.
There's a big disconnect, and it's funny to see it in people's eyes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do $500,000 in.
Yeah, it's like it's two different. It's I sell stuff on eBay, or I make $1 million a year, and you're the same person, and the perception of you has completely changed from those two statements.
Yeah. The guy
Well,
who runs 1-800 junk. People are like, "What do you do?" He's like, "I'm just a garbage man," but like, he makes multiple million a year.
Yeah, I want to be that.
I mean, that's essentially like a mobile Goodwill, right? Like he'll take away your shit for free.
No. He charges you to take your stuff that he sells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the
That's a
charges.
good.
That's a good business model.
That's a great business. Yeah.
People are paying it.
Hey, you're going to give me all your shit, and then you're going to pay me to take it away. So,
Well, listen, picking stuff up and labor is expensive and equipment is expensive. It's not free to go get that stuff.
He
First of
even
all,
hacked
so
that. He
he's
even
providing
hacked
a service, somebody's willing to pay for it. So not to give him that is to just rob him of the whole.
He even
business
hacked
model.
that. The people that work for 1-800 Got Junk, the people who pick up the stuff are people who are training for like MMA. They're looking for a physically demanding job. He somehow found those people to be the people that pick it up, and I'm just amazed that exists. Like, we're paying for inventory. He's getting paid for inventory. The people who pick up the stuff want to pick up the stuff. Like, you know, people are saying, "Oh, I can't find reliable people to work for me." And he's like got a line of people who want this work. Just your mindset changes, and think about how fast you would grow if you got paid to sell things. You know, like that's insane.
and you don't have to source; they call you.
Yeah, they call you.
Yeah,
And then okay, and this is the best part. And this is why I like reselling more than any other thing. When I'm on YouTube talking about stuff, it's not bullshit. It's not multi-level marketing. It's not some kind of, you can actually go buy something and sell it and make a profit for your family versus like multi-level marketing. 90% of people donate their money to their upline. That's not real, right? And then something like 90% of people lose their initial investment and 5% of people break even. That's the multi-level marketing thing where people can watch my channel or Portland Pickers just one post and go to one storage locker and get lucky. And all it takes is to get lucky like one time and you're going to be hooked.
Well, that's the thing is all you have to do is have some bit of consistency and you will get lucky.
You will get lucky if you're consistent.
Even if you don't get lucky, you're still going to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like it's consistency. It really is. And
I'll tell you where I get the biggest flack. Like, I'm trying to help people make $1,000 a week because I think that other than California or Portland, you could get by on $1,000 a week pretty easily.
Yeah.
I tell people, first of all, I'd rather you not quit your job so you have extra money. Secondly, I think you need like 20 grand to if you want to actually do this for a living, you need, if the deal comes and you can't pay for it, you just that's your consistency being wasted. You need like you can't not do that. Like I had this lot of shoes that was worth 20 grand that I paid 6. If I didn't have 6 grand, I couldn't do it. Now that was the part that I got lucky at. I was going to a bunch of sales. They were closing it out. Like these shoes, the comps were 20, and this is last year Christmas time. They sold for 19. Right, that was like really lucky because they were just John Barbados boots that every single one of them was retailing between 500 and 700, and they were all $60, right? And like I'm just like that's what makes it unpopular because people are like, you don't need that much, but I'm like, you don't need that much to do a hustle, but if you want like, I think whatever you have listed is your annual income. So if you have $50,000 worth of stuff listed, you turn it over a couple of times and you have a decent return, that's $50,000 income. I think
you're right. Like I have 75,000 listed on eBay right now, and yeah, that's I mean your numbers are like.
And if you do like this is the thing I see. Most people have $20,000 worth of stuff listed, which is respectable. But what happens is you have to auction stuff to get cash flow at the end of the month, and then you're giving stuff away, and then the next month you're down to $10,000 again, and you build your stuff back up to 20, and you're good. But then at the end of the month you've got to deplete it to get your money back out of it. So that's why I think people, to really do this, you shouldn't quit your job till you have, I think, 60,000 listed, because people also like want a 1/3 ratio of selling each month. That's hard. To sell 1/3 of your stuff is very hard. I think people should lower that to 20%, even 10%. Because like if you are at 10%, that means you're 60 grand. You only sell 6 grand. You can still live another day till, to build that back up. And then the people who are, I'll tell you the struggle for me, or for the people that I see. At 60 grand, you can make a living, but you still can't take a vacation ever. You're like, you're kind of like you own your own reselling job.
Right.
And then from 60 grand to 250 grand, you don't make more money because you've got to like hire people and like maybe get a space, and it's different. So like somehow the people that have 250 grand listed, now they can afford 2 listers, 1 guy going outsourcing, then you're a company, and then you can take your family on vacation sometimes instead of being, I haven't done it yet, but people are like, because all of my stuff monetizes, right? And people are like, oh, you're just doing it for the money. I'm like, bitch, wait till I make $1 million on eBay. It's going to be so expensive. Like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. So it's really cheap. Wait till I figure this out. Then if you think it's expensive now, like wait till I actually know how to do it. Like I've seen it. I look at all these. I've interviewed 50 resellers now, and I know what the problem is. Trying to scale up to 50,000 stuff listed takes probably a year. And most people are like, I quit my job yesterday. And I'm like, you're fucked. You can't unless you get lucky 10 times in a row your first week, you're not going to be able to get out of this cash flow thing. I'm really lucky that my eBay income rolls into itself, and I don't have to live on my eBay income. It's the biggest hack ever. And like the stock market, people are like, oh, 9%. If you do 9% in the stock market, you're considered like a genius. But like, who buys something hoping for 9% return? You're like looking to double, triple, 10 times your money.
Right.
So I like 1,000% returns for Amazon.
Yeah. So you're looking at that, and then my mistake with electronics was I was picking up electronics for 20 to sell for 100, and it wasn't enough because there was still some returns. And the magical thing, not 100% of your stuff sells right away. Right? So people don't think of that part.
Yeah, well, they don't have the expectation that you need like capital invested in inventory. You also need available capital, and you also need to hit your nut. You need to be able to.
I know that's my most. People are like, no, you don't need that much money to do it. And I'm like, I haven't seen anybody that does it that doesn't have a lot of stuff listed, and unless they stole it, which they usually don't.
Yeah.
Like they paid for it somewhere. That costs some kind of money to do it. Unless, okay, the exception to that is the people who do scrap. I don't know how you do that, but there are people who get stuff close to free. Those people, a little bit different, but not everyone has access to that.
I mean, the Goodwill bins feels like it's close to free.
Yeah, it's pretty close. But the thing
That's
is,
where I started.
It's pretty heavy, so at $1 a pound, even let's say,
also the numbers that I have are from the people who do Amazon. Like more people on Amazon have more like models, like the one I follow Freedom Fastlane, and that dude is talking about you sell 100 items a day at $10 profit. That's $1,000 a day. Now you make as much as a doctor, and don't make that your goal this year. Make that your lifetime goal, and break it down to the point where you make your own hats and you sell 25 a day at $10 profit. Okay, all of us on this call right now could make a hat that's popular enough to sell X amount of brand. 25 is not really that many if you had a decent brand or whatever. But people, their time constraint is too short. Too short. But if you can roll your money into itself, then it doesn't take that long to have a company.
So my current inventory of 75,000. That's basically my current listed inventory, and I have another 300 items in drafts right now, which is another $8,000 or $10,000, whatever it is. That all comes from an initial $3,000 seed. So I was there eating ramen noodles, like
but here's
building.
The thing. Maintaining a $75,000 eBay business takes up probably at least half of your week.
Absolutely.
For you to get from 75 grand to 200, this is just me guessing, 250 grand is when you can really afford to have legit people. And also, I don't know any people who have an eBay business that don't have employees. They don't have contractors. They don't have some dude that lives on the corner, their friend, their cousin, their niece. They have that's not who they have. They have a person that's job is to get stuff onto the internet. Because if you hire your buddy, you're not motivated. It's not a job. It's just like a
nobody who works for me. None of the three our professional listers. I mean, professional drafters. None of them are my buddies. Nor would I have my buddies.
I'm saying that's probably why you're able to get the 75,000 when most people are stuck in the 20,000 range.
Why couldn't I?
Yeah.
It took me a long time.
You want to just get it to that. But yeah, you figured it out. You've been reselling a long time. Like Craigslist Hunter, his store is pretty crazy. I don't think he has less than 100K list. I'd be surprised.
He has to have way more than 100K. He's doing 40,000 a month in sales.
But think about it. 120,000 listed at 30%. He's good. He's obviously a good picker. So he's going to sell a third. So that's only 120 grand listed. But he said in his videos that he wouldn't redo the retail model because of how expensive it is to run the shop. There's people who
I would never ever run a retail. You need a place for people to come in and sell you stuff. That's just it.
No, it's tough. That's a bizarre.
I wouldn't want people. It's disorganized. It looks kitschy and seedy. You got a bunch of mixed inventory.
It's a pawn shop, basically.
Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah.
But it gives you the opportunity to buy. It gives you the opportunity to buy, and people want to come in and buy stuff maybe, but the audience that you can gather on the internet is just insanely.
Yeah, no, I know. It's I'm really. But I'll tell you what, my girlfriend is she actually thinks this is one of the best careers that there is because of how unstable regular jobs are. I
agree with her.
You can actually predict how much money you're going to make based on the quality of the stuff you have. And on Amazon, it's even more accurate. You know exactly how much money you're going to make. On eBay,
you totally have sales rank, so you can judge market velocity really easy.
On eBay, I think their issue is that they just they don't realize how that 2 or 3 years is not very long. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry. And the stuff that I don't know. Oh yeah, one more comment. I think people like buying stuff that's in some dude's house. Instead of
evidence of that.
Yes.
Proof.
This a professional background, I don't know. I like it. If somebody is selling a Supreme hat and the picture is of it in their back seat, that's fine. It doesn't make me not buy it.
No.
I'm like, he obviously has it.
Like, if you have a great reputation, you know that it's secure.
Right. He has it. And I'm like, that's some dude. I'm okay with buying it from some dude. I like that. So that's why I don't want white background. Not because I actually think white background looks better, but like it's not some dude's house.
Yeah, it loses its personality.
This is the personality. And I like that.
You can bring that. So I made that transition and I brought that uniqueness back through my listings, which is just what you said before. You know, if you peruse my store, there are interesting, unique items that you can really understand the quality of, because there's no interruptions in like the background. The pictures are clear. There's multiple pictures. You can really see the item, and you can see that I have 100% positive feedback over, you know, tons and tons of transactions. And the combination of those two things, I think if somebody sees it on somebody's floor or sees it on a mannequin and it's the same price, they might have a little bit more confidence in the one that's more concise in that.
I don't know. It's
going.
It's a puzzle. I like eBay because of the community part, and I feel like everything is so unstable. Like this gig economy bullshit that everyone is stuck doing right now. Like, this is bizarre. I had listing parties this week just for fun, and I was like, and literally 3,000 people watched other people listing. And I'm like, how does that exist? But the thing is, like, they're not. And this guy was like, I've been reselling for 20 years. Not one of the listings I did with somebody else. This is so weird. Like, because it was like this. So people were, except for my setup has the multiple Brady Bunch screen. So like, you could ask somebody, hey, what do you think? And get 5 people to respond back. That's never happened in the reselling listing thing. So, but in November, I'm going to have a 24-hour feed. So when you log in, you can just literally list with people. I think it's going to be badass. I just think it's cool.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
It's going to be the office, the eBay office.
What?
Like you can hang out with coworkers. Like, people talk about this coworker thing, but they don't fucking know they don't know each other, right? Nope. But I know the people in my mastermind group because I talk to them. I mean, I feel like I know you guys a little bit because we can at least see each other. Versus Instagram is not real. Yeah,
you can get some bits of authenticity, but no, I feel what you're saying.
Instagram's a little odd because you're not. There's no face to face. There's no nuances. It's like the Hall of Fame of their life, right? So it's a little fuzzy. Like, it's not. It's not that real. But I do think that Instagram is probably the funnest thing ever invented. Because you can look at so many people. It's fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like show and tell. Like, I love show and tell when I was like 4, and Instagram was like show and tell.
It's not useful, but fun. It's useful in a sense you can learn what to buy, but like, it's not productive.
It's not productive as maybe as the viewer, but like, the ability to amass an audience really quickly is valuable in some fashion.
That's true. Well, I mean, to me, this is more valuable because you guys are legit. Like, I can see what you're doing. I figured out. I learned that the Steve Jobs doll was illegally produced, and that you have to kind of look at that now. Just because it's rare doesn't mean you can sell it.
Definitely true.
I mean, it's like Nazi stuff. Right? You could find some. It's insanely valuable. Can't list it. So, I mean, that's the thing. It's against eBay policy. You'd like lose your account instantly.
Well, there goes my business model. I mean, shit. All this Nazi stuff piled up over here, and I don't know what to do with it now.
List some elephant ivory on eBay and see how long.
Elephant ivory.
What people do is they say it's faux.
Buffalo.
They sell it for $800.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Fake.
It's fake. But no, they really have cracked down on that kind of nonsense.
Yeah, you can't use any of the keywords.
So just list that Steve Jobs doll as like a faux Steve Jobs doll.
When you initially, you probably didn't see the message from me, 10K, but like when you initially listed those shoes with like the keyword spam, I sent you a private message saying, hey, dude, Like, I think they're gonna, you're gonna get a Vero claim on that. Like,
I'm pretty sure I know who reported me, and I actually did not get a Vero claim, but it was taken.
Okay, cool.
No, but the thing is, it was taken down because another reseller was annoyed with me, not because Reebok gave a shit.
Yeah.
So, which is different. So, which is fine because I put up, and then eBay actually was annoyed that I put Schmeebach because, you know what I mean?
Well, now you're just taunting them.
Well, they're like, okay, we get it. You're not keyword spamming. Schmeebach doesn't care.
Like the eBay droid comes out.
They were like, okay, it's a little annoying because you guys are following. Yeah, so they were like, so now I just put notable shoe brand. So people will know. I'm not showing them. They'll figure it out.
That's not boring.
Nope. Just call them like Apple branded foot covering devices.
So what happened? I thought you had like solid offers at 10 grand on that.
I've had a lot of solid offers at $2 grand. At 10 grand, all of those were like marketing companies. God. I don't know. Everybody that bid 10 grand had over 500 feedback. It's very frustrating. And none of, like, I don't know. It's they're cool. I was with Mo's in the green room. I joined the green room because I didn't know who to talk to for reselling with Steve Rakin and those guys. And then I joined it. And I didn't know about the Goodwill bins. Guys, we should go. I went to the Goodwill bins. I found the Apple shoes, the first fucking thing I bought, right? And I'm like, these are cool. I'm just going to keep them. There's no comps, right? So I'm like, I'll just keep them. And then my friend Mary messages me. She's like, hey, you should look out for Apple shoes. You're in the Bay Area. And I'm like, I already have those.
The only pair.
She's like, what do you mean? She's like, they're up for auction for 15 grand in LA right now. And then I was like, oh, so, I'm like, and mine are better, but they're not dead stock. They're really beat up. So I don't know.
Yeah, you should just take them to an auction house.
Yeah,
I mean, unless you want to just hang on. I don't know. If you want the money, do you want to just hang on to them? Whatever.
It makes me, I would say $3 to $5 a day. Should I just leave it there? I mean, that's I don't know how much that's worth, but people look at it.
Yeah. Through the affiliate links.
Yeah. So somebody will click on it and they'll buy pajamas, and I'll get half the final value fee on it. Yeah, so if you have rare items, throw them on your Instagram. People will go check it out.
Yeah, I've been posting like odd and peculiar things on Instagram and sales on those items for some reason. I don't even know.
Let me look right now.
You get the weirdest buyers on the stuff that I post on Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah, about 100 to 200 people a day click on that link. So of those 100 to 200 people, I would say 1 or 2 people buy something that's $20. So
I have something that's like that.
If you have something rare that will probably take a long time to sell, that's the one I would connect it to. And if you guys come down to the reseller event here, I'm setting it up with Prince. I'm doing a class before that event explaining eBay Partner Network. And Prince, he's the guy in my mastermind call. He makes $2,000 a month in eBay Partner Network. He really knows how to do it.
That's crazy.
So, and also, he's doing $40,000 a month on eBay.
And he does electronics mainly, right?
He's the electronics guy.
Yeah.
Since I've been like producing a little bit of content, it's been hard for me to consume any content. So I'm sure anybody goes through that like site. Like I'm so stacked with managing my eBay.
I actually do watch a lot of people, but I don't have any obligations right now. I'm not married, no kids, so.
And you're just a bum eBay reseller sitting at home doing nothing, right?
Grabbing all
like everybody thinks.
Yeah, what my mom thinks I do. All right, kids. You know what? It's been a great show. I want to thank 10K on the Bay for being here. I want to thank Elliot from. Is it Phoenix Exchange? Is that how it goes?
The what? No. What do you mean? Where I live?
Because you're Outpost PHX, right? And then you are obviously Death Pile Thrift as well.
Yeah, Death Pile Thrift on Instagram. Outpost PHX is my my other company, my web design and development company. So
perfect. And it's Michael, right?
Yes.
Michael, where can, if anybody wants to find you and check out what you do, is there a way that they can find you on social media?
I haven't started social media yet, but look for I'm Take Action on Instagram. That's me.
Awesome.
On Facebook.
We'll connect, and I'll put some links in the description of this video later. Chris, thanks for showing up, man. I'm gonna end this. This was an awesome forum, and hopefully we'll have many more in the future. So very surprising, very awesome.
Take care, guys.
thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Take care.